2015. Lovely shot here. Full is just over pitched, hasn't he, Don Bess?
Moving away from us now. Bowls a short delivery that's pulled forward of square. That's going to be 4 on 2 bounces. Right to the pitch of the ball, Kelly, and charge down the track. He likes to do that, Kelly. Get to the pitch of the ball or as close to it as he can. And that's flashed by Kelly. Backward of square. That's 4 runs. Cut shot and a late cut shot.
35 for 1 still then. In comes Moeen and he gives him the charge here, and that's gone a long way. That has gone a long way over long on into the crowd at the Bennett end. What has Moeen got as a response then? 41 for 1 with that half dozen. Oh, he's got him here, surely. AJ ties underneath it and takes a very easy catch, just lofted wide of mid-off, but plenty of time for Ty to get underneath it and take his second. Yorkshire have taken their second wicket. Leicestershire 41 for 1 and Patel gone for 14. 41 for 2, I should say, and Patel gone for 4.
4 for Heen. He's in, and that's pulled around the corner for 4 runs. The fine leg is quite square. And comes down the track, hits down the grounds for 6. That's a great shot. Right to the pitch of the ball and skied it. But he's doing pretty well as it is. Ty to bowl his second over from the pavilion end. Down the pitch comes Tattersall. He's hit this high in the air, but there's a slip from the fielder. It's gone over his head. It was straight down his throat.
He's zipping off there for a couple of weeks to keep his T20 skills going. As Tattersall launches into this one, gave himself a bit of room, opened up the offside, and the ball disappeared past him for 4. Would have been a comfortable catch, you would have thought, as he's coming into play here. Wharton is not quite going to get there to a nicely played reverse sweep by Tattersall. Another boundary.
And thunders in. He's up to the wicket. Bowls. That's pulled round the corner. There's a man out in the deep mid-wicket who takes it. Great catch by Bess. And there's a bit of chat between Kelly and Ali, and which is still going as he walks off. Kelly has to go for a very good 40.
Long on, long off, cow corner and deep backward square on the leg side, and also find that he's walking back to the dressing room because Jaffa Chauhan has just bowled him off stump, and things beginning to turn fairly quickly with the loss.
Hassan Ali's going to bowl his 3rd over, and he's bowled him. That one kept really low. It might have been a slower delivery as well.
There's Jaffa Chauhan. Oh, now then, Ben, he's gone. It looked like it was close.
You go the other way.
Ty. There's a great ramp from Cox, and it's gone basically over the wicket-keeper's head for 4 runs.
If you don't get him out early, you can see a few runs on the board, and there's a few runs on the board here. Liam Travaskis, he's just waited for that over.
Hassan Ali comes in, bowls. That's cut forward of square. That's going to go for 4 runs. There's no fielder out there. Square of the wicket on the boundary. There's a short cover. 2-1 for 6. And Cox waits and cracks this for 4 as a chase on that the fielder's going to lose.
Great shot.
Yeah, so he's got it for the big stage, and that's a lovely shot as well. Just chipped that really over.
Comes Hassan Ali. That's a big shot in the air from Travaskis, but there's a fielder out there at deep square leg who takes it. As he comes in, there's the scoop. It's up in the air, but there's a fielder there who takes it. Short fine leg.
Here is Fahim in again. That's pulled backward of square. Lovely shot. Got plenty on that, Ben Cox. And yep, Fahim to Cox, who's driven that one to AJ Ty just up inside the circle at mid-off. And so Davey 3, Cox 33, and Leicestershire have come up just short of the 150 mark. 147 for 8. As
bowler for Leicestershire bowling slow, and that is a slow first ball that's going to be hit for 4. Swept behind square on the leg side, and it races away to the boundary rope. Just back of a length from Turner. Former England man waits. Turner is in. Back goes Bairstow and crunches that for 4. It's a back foot push. It's going to run away. Actually, the fielder's chasing it. There's a big battle on, but it is the ball that wins the race. Big dive that comes in. Turner bowling right arm over the wicket to the right-handed Bairstow. That's a slog down the ground from Bairstow. He's going to get 4 for that as well. 1-2 bounce 4.
Would ordinarily have been here. He's watching on the stream. And that one has been dropped a little bit too short, really, hasn't it? And Johnny. So here is Travaskis, and Bairstow's flicked this one off his legs, and that's 4. Just 1 bounce, lofted it away. Over. Here's Travaskis, reverse sweep by Johnny. He's absolutely timed the backside off that. What would have been a second T20 ton, and then 20 off 7 balls against Lancashire on Friday night. But Travaskis is going for more runs here. Third boundary, Bairstow. 39 without loss. Travaskis, he goes reverse again this time. That's nearly to hand, but not quite, and it's a 4th 4.
So here comes Ian Holland, and that's pulled in the air court. And Bairstow has to go. That hit the toe end of the bat, and a diving, tumbling stop by Fine Leg. Is that Josh Davey there, isn't it?
Josh
Filming.
Davey, yeah.
Improving with his figures.
Lythe goes for the big hit. That's high up in the air. Rehan Ahmed is there at deep backward square leg and takes it in the most casual manner that you will see all day. Lythe has to go. Strange innings for him, really. He's been just at the other end for most of it. And his first big shot, he has been dismissed for 3. And that is 2 wickets in quick succession for Leicestershire. They may feel they are back in this T20. He comes now to bowl to Luxton, who hits him high up in the air. There's no fielder at deep mid wicket, and it's 6. Lands just over the ropes. Short brown hair, runs in, bowls full outside off stump, and is cream for 4 through extra cover. Lovely shot.
As here is the man, Luxton, cutting this one wide of short third man. That will be racing away for 4 more. Just a bit too much width from Rehan with that delivery.
As Green comes in, that's pulled around the corner, up in the air. There's a fielder out there. It's over his head and goes for 4.
A different shade of green here. Alex, and he's bowled him. Wharton's gone right across outside off stump. He's had a look and he's chewed up 10 balls there in getting 2.
But he's Luxton who finds some form here. Davey on the leg side. Well, that's found the boundary, no problem. 6 runs, and that's gone about 8 rows back. Picked up off the leg side.
Here's Green to Moeen, who's got a top edge on this one with another slash outside off stump, and it travelled very quickly down beneath our commentary position for 4.
Ahmed moves away from us. That's drilled down the ground, straight as a dart down the ground, and runs away for 4.
Yeah, 12.4 compared to 13.6. Well, bang on 14 overs for Leicestershire.
Oh, appeal for leg before wicket. That's surely out. I think that's the wrong one from Ahmed.
Hopefully his next 3 balls.
Here's Green again. Nicely played off the legs this time by Revis. Ahmed's giving chase around the boundary and will get them. And are they going to go? Yes, no. They've had a bit of a mix-up and he's gone. Moeen is run out.
Wow.
And really, that was genuinely down to batter error. Yes, no, wait, sorry, I think is the expression. And there should have been an easy enough run.
Well, I think if you turn and go...
Good cutter of the ball.
Ahmed in flatter. Oh, and there's an appeal for a catch. He's out. Revis. Round the wicket to the left-hander. And this is hit down the ground. That's a big hit. It's a great hit from Fahim. It's gone for 6. Over the side screen. Just over pitching that, Ahmed.
And, you know, those are really tight chases where you're needing 10 and 12 and over.
Ahmed edges and caught. Fahim has gone.
Yeah, 124 for 7. Ty's got underneath this one. He's going to be caught. He is caught. Nonchalantly once again. Well, our Yorkshire throwing this one away. They still need 24 runs to win, and they now have only 2 wickets left with which to get them.
Ahmed has been involved.
Struck it straight past the bowler for 4. He's bowled him. Travaskis has knocked out his leg stump. And could this be a remarkable?
After 11 probably, he would have said it was well within Yorkshire's control.
And Jaffa's underway straight away with 1. Are they going to take 2? Well, they can't really afford to risk a silly run out.
The penultimate ball of the innings comes in, bowls, it's hit straight back to Green, who's caught that, he says. And Leicestershire is celebrating, and they've won. It's an unbelievable catch. Chauhan stands there slightly bemused, but Leicestershire have won the game. They have bowled Yorkshire out.
Welcome to East Midlands Airport. Or should we say, the easiest Midlands Airport. The airport at the heart of the UK, flying to over 70 destinations. The easier airport with faster check-in and security that gives you extra time to relax and get in last-minute shopping. The airport that gets the kids on board before they get bored. East Midlands Airport, the easiest way to get away. To book your next holiday, visit eastmidlandsairport.com. Welcome to East Midlands Airport. Or should we say, the easiest Midlands Airport. The airport at the heart of the UK, flying to over 70 destinations. The easier airport with faster check-in and security that gives you extra time to relax and get in last-minute shopping. The airport that gets the kids on board before they get bored. East Midlands Airport, the easiest way to get away. To book your next holiday, visit eastmidlandsairport.com. Welcome to East Midlands Airport. Or should we say, the easiest Midlands Airport. The airport at the heart of the UK, flying to over 70 destinations. The easier airport with faster check-in and security that gives you extra time to relax and get in last-minute shopping. the airport that gets the kids on board before they get bored. East Midlands Airport, the easiest way to get away. To book your next holiday, visit eastmidlandsairport.com.
Sam Wood and what we can expect?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously a great young prospect. He's obviously not played a huge amount of cricket, but yeah, he'll put his body on the line for the team. He's a good athlete, so you'll see him running around in the field. But again, it's like most young players, obviously a little bit raw, but he's got the capability to be able to perform. I played in a second team game, a couple of second team games with him, and he's put in some really good performances. And it's, you know, and that's the thing when you're at a club like Leicestershire, these opportunities come up, and what an exciting opportunity it is for him tonight to go out there and show what he's about. You know, he's obviously not played a lot of first team cricket this year, and he's been on the sidelines for a lot, but it's a fantastic opportunity if he can go out there and put a performance in and really show the coaches and, you know, and the fans as well here what he's really about. So hopefully tonight's the night for him where he can come off really well.
Johnny, thank you. Johnny Tattersall with us on BBC Radio Leicester Sport. He's going to be with us throughout commentary this evening as the two Leicestershire openers have made their way out onto the pitch. Rishi Patel and Rayan Ahmed hoping to get off to a good start against this Lancashire side. Live T20 blast action on BBC Radio Leicester Sport. Taking you through it will be Johnny Tattersall and first Adam Whitty.
Thank you very much, Jack. It is simply sublime in the centre of Leicester. Barely a cloud in the sky. It is roasting. as Leicestershire take on a star-studded Lancashire side with some of the best players in world cricket. But Leicestershire will hope, as they aim for a 4th win in a row in this competition, as the T20 Blast returns, that they can spring a shock and take a big step actually towards the quarter-finals. The Foxes in 3rd going into this. Lancashire, bottom of the North Group. They've had a miserable time of it, but they didn't have the likes of Salt, Livingston and Butler for most of it. Lancashire won the toss. They put Leicestershire into bowl in the pitch that was used during the 4-day match with Yorkshire, which Leicestershire won. Leicestershire got the most out of that pitch. It's fair to say it was a historic win, but this totally different. Richard Patel and Rahan Ahmed, the openers, and it's going to be Luke Wood, the England international, bowling from the Bennett end. He's past the umpire now. He bowls and is struck on the pad first up, with Wood coming left arm over the wicket, and there is no run. And we were talking about the pitch, weren't we, quite a bit, because you helped us out on commentary during that 4-day game, Johnny. We nicknamed it the mullet because they'd shaved the ends and kept the middle long, but now they've clearly mown the whole thing, haven't they? And it's all one shade.
Yeah, it's looking a lot more what you'd say traditional cricket wicket. Looks pretty white from here, which hopefully means it's good for batting.
As Wood comes in, bowls a full toss, which is driven by Patel at mid-off. He'll get a single, and Leicestershire are underway. And Leicestershire have an extraordinary record here. You know, they have only won against Lancashire here twice in their history.
Yeah, well, let's hope that's changed tonight.
They've got a much better record at Old Trafford, which you wouldn't think. But they won the reverse fixture, Leicestershire, in highly dramatic circumstances. But this has not been an opposition that they've been able to beat at home. Rahan Ahmed will face the England international, right armour, and Patel cuts very late to backward point. There is no run. Yeah. You replaced Saltbud, I think, in that game, did you, in the end?
Yeah, I did. I came on for those 6 overs. Unfortunately, that Sol picked up his injury, that nasty collision with Liam Travaskis on the boundary.
You couldn't come on and bat, though,
No.
as things were going so smoothly, weren't they? Leicestershire were 130 for 3, I think, chasing 146.
Yeah, it just shows you on those, and it might be something similar tonight with obviously playing on a used wicket. It was very used at Old Trafford. It can be difficult to really get over the line in those chases.
Wood first over bowls a full delivery. It's a good one, actually, and Rahan Ahmed can only dig it out. Leicestershire in their dark green shirts and black trousers. Lancashire all in a very sort of bright and garish red strip. And just to finish that, if you weren't listening to us at Old Trafford, highly dramatic. Leicestershire went from 130 for 3 to 134 for 8. So 3 runs, 5 wickets, 10 balls, but then Josh Davey and Ian Holland just saw them over the line. 1 for no loss. A very healthy crowd inside Grace Road tonight as Wood comes in and Ahmed whips that off his toes and gets off the mark, square of the wicket. It's a deep square leg. A reminder, Lancashire won the toss. They put Leicestershire into bat. 2 changes for the Foxes. Everson comes in, as does Sam Wood. Sam Wood for his first T20 game of the season, and Everson for his first T20 game at all for Leicestershire, but he has been involved with them for the last 2 weeks. And Lancashire have made 6 changes from their last T20 match, with probably 20,000, maybe even more than that, T20 runs coming in. Patel waits, Wood in, bowls, and Patel rocks back and plays that very nicely indeed behind square on the offside. It beats what is a sort of deep gully, but there is a fielder at third man. So that is the end of the first over. 3 for no loss, and those Lancashire players coming in it. Butler, England T20 captain, Salt, Mahmood, Khan, and Blatherwick. First over, your thoughts?
Yeah, just a watchful start from the Foxes. Looked like there was a bit of swing there from Luke Wood. Obviously an excellent white ball bowler. Obviously picked up honours for England, and rightly so. He's been very good over the years as he made the move from Notts to Lancashire. It's a very good, strong opening partnership for the bowling side with Mahmood here as well. Obviously another international, as we said. I think Adam, you said there was 9, I think.
Yep, 9 internationals.
Players who played international cricket on this 11, but as I alluded to a little bit earlier, Papers never won a cricket match, so anything's possible.
Well, it's Leicestershire's England international. they will hope can play a big role. He's in bat at the moment, he's batting at the moment, but not facing. It's Rishi Patel who will face as Mahmood comes in, Saqib Mahmood, and Patel plays a very straight bat to that, driving it down the ground, and it's a dot ball, so just 3 for no loss off the opening 7 balls of the innings. It is a very healthy crowd at Grace Road. Lots of people have huddled around the shaded area on the far side, loads of pastel colours, plenty of hats, and the popular seats over on the far side. That'll be where it gets spicy a little bit later, I think. Well, here was Stench and Benno who've got their vuvuzela. I think that's been confiscated, actually. As Saqib Mahmood runs away from us. Tall man and bowls right arm over the wicket, and Patel hits that into the ground. I don't know if you're seeing anything in the pitch early on in the way that Leicestershire are playing their shots, or the way that things seem to be going through at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've not been out to look at the pitch, and I know from the stats that I think Grace Road is a good ground to chase on, but having looked at the fact that we've played a 4-day game on this pitch, you're looking at the size of the boundaries are massive out to our left hand side as well, looking at it from the pavilion end. I personally would have been a bat first, but that's just me, and we'll see how this game goes, but it can always it's not always easy to chase on a slow pitch.
Mahmood bowls, and he goes for that Patel and flashes it, doesn't time it at all, and out it goes to sort of wide third man, very square on that far side. Thick outside edge, that.
Yeah, I think it was just a classic example of the ball not coming on.
Yeah.
Not coming onto the bat, and actually if there was that man, they've changed the field now, there's no slip, and that man who was at deep backward point's now gone to a deep cover. I think if they'd have had that field for the ball before, it'd have probably just popped up straight to that man at point. So
as Mahmood, the England international, in the one-dayers coming up in the squad against India. That's a much better time shot by Rahan Ahmed. They got a single from the previous ball. I love the way he sort of flamingos those shots. Stands on one leg, Ahmed. He's a very flamboyant, swashbuckling performer. And he cuts to point and gets a single. So he's on to 2. 5 for no loss with 10 balls gone in this game between Leicestershire and Lancashire in the T20 Blast. BBC Radio Leicester with Adam Whitty and Johnny Tattersall. I'll have Jack Rafferty on commentary very shortly indeed.
Yeah, it strikes me, I think the power play is going to be massively important. It's obviously difficult to always go really hard when you're batting first, when you're not quite sure what the pitch is. You don't want to lose quick wickets too early, but I think obviously batting second, that's what you get a good look at the pitch, and you know that you can try and score a lot in that power play if you need to.
Mahmood thunders in, and that looks slow, and it's turned round the corner. It's spilt by the fielder, it's short fine leg, and it'll just be a single, but boundaries hard to come by in the opening 11 deliveries of the innings. Yeah, Mahmood in the England squad to take on India in a bunch of T20s that are coming up. I think the first one's 1st of July. You've got Phil Salt in that squad, Mahmood, Butler. I think the sense I got, Johnny, was that this is probably the only game they will play for Lancashire before they go off. A bit of a warm-up for the likes of Butler, Salt, Mahmood and Wood. And it is Mahmood bowling the second over, and that's a big hit this time from Rahan Ahmed, and he's got all of that. 4 runs, 1 bounce over towards the long boundary in front of the popular seats in the Uptonsteel ground. And there's the first boundary. Bit of relief for Leicestershire as Rahan Ahmed's given that a big slog over towards the far side of the ground. End of the over, and was that 6 off it in the end? I think 7 off it in the end, and the Foxes 10 for no loss.
Yeah, just again, Rahan was, as he was running down the track there, was just looking at the toe of his bat. So again, another sign that the pitch is on the slow side. It's not going to be coming on, and it's probably not going to be as easy to find those boundaries. So I think being able to run between the wickets well and run really hard, I think will be key tonight. Even though it's going to be hot conditions, it's going to be tough work for those players out there tonight.
Tom Hartley's going to bowl the third innings for third over. A third go at that. Third over from the Bennett end. He's played Test cricket for England. Was part of that famous team that won over in India, or won a Test match over in India in very dramatic circumstances. He comes in, bowls left arm round the wicket, and back goes Patel and heaves that along the floor through extra cover. He will pick up a single for his trouble. He's 5 from 8. Rahan Ahmed 6 off 5. As you mentioned, the boundary's really big here. The pitch is sort of at a 45-degree angle to us at the moment, up on the third tier at Grace Road. As Hartley turns. Tall spinner comes in now. Bowl swept. There's a appeal for leg before wicket, but it's not out. So if the things that, you know, Alfonso Thomas, Claude Henderson as Director of Cricket and Head Coach have control of are things like the pitch and the boundary length, don't they? And I've seen them a lot shorter than this for different opposition.
Yeah.
So why do you make the boundaries longer for certain opposition? We'll come to that in a second. Actually, Hartley's going to bowl the third ball of the third over. 11 for no loss is the score, and cut by Ahmed straight at cover, no run.
Yeah, I think it's probably to just try and negate that. Obviously, they've got a lot of big hitters in their team. Obviously, on a slower pitch, and you've got the boundaries out, then you might find that there's a lot more catches to be had. So, yeah, boundaries might not necessarily be might be hard to come by tonight.
As there's a big sweep. That was a full toss from Hartley, and that is gone all the way for 6. It's a very low full toss from Ahmed, and it was whacked by Ahmed. It seemed to sort of hang in the air for ages, but I was watching the fielder on the far side there. I think that's Blatherwick out there, who was watching it in the air for ages, and then it landed. We're talking about how difficult it might be to get boundaries tonight. Well, that was hit a long way to find that boundary on the leg side. Ahmed moves away from his stumps, and Hartley follows him, and he just dabs that into the offside. It's the first 6 of the innings. Ahmed 12. We've only seen him in 1 T20 innings, where he only got 2. But he is in good batting form. Got a century against Yorkshire in the County Championship last week. It was a sublime innings. He waits as Hartley comes in. He turns down the pitch. He slices this. It's in the air and he's caught. Ahmed has to go. And Hartley gets the first wicket for Lancashire. A thick outside edge. The ball spinning and revolving in the air. And it was caught by Mahmood at short third man. And Lancashire have the breakthrough, and Ahmed, who looked in decent nick actually, 2 quick boundaries has to depart. 17 for 1, Leicestershire.
Yeah, and that's the risk reward. You find yourself in the power play on a slow pitch. That's just has not quite got to the pitch, but I think on any other day, any other pitch, that's probably sailing straight over the bowler's head. Mid-on was up for that ball. He pushed long off back, and he's obviously just tried to go against the spin ever so slightly and not being right to the pitch, and then that's just led to the outside edge. Spinning catch, and they're not always the easiest to take when there's a lot of spin on them, but made it look relatively simple, did Mahmood.
It's got a high release point as well as a tall bowler, Hartley, which might mean you just get that little bit more bounce on it perhaps, but all the signs we are seeing is that this is a very, very slow pitch. We saw it towards the end of that 4-day game against Yorkshire when players were going through their shots essentially before it had even got to them. So that's the end of the third over. 17 for 1 is the score, so there was 7 off that over as well. The run rate at 5.7. Patel waits, he's 5 not out as Mahmood comes into him, and there's a lovely back foot crunch by Patel. They are just going to get, no, they're not going to get a single, they're going to get 4. It's misfielded out there, and that's a bit of a shocker. Looked like a pretty standard single out to deep cover. It's misfielded by Blatherwick, escapes through his fingers, and that's a horrible one, and races away for 4.
Yeah, I just don't think he quite got himself into the position. He sat off it a little bit, and one thing here at Grace Road, the outfield can be a little bit bobbly, so if you just sat off the ball a bit, it can take an awkward little bounce, like it might have just possibly done there, and yeah, that's a bonus for the Foxes.
Patel's first boundary, 21 for 1. Mahmood in, back goes Patel, and guides this away on the leg side. Actually, he's played that perfectly, he's guided it wonderfully, and he's going to get 2 for it. There's a fielder at mid-wicket and mid-on rather, and it just escaped through both of their clutches, and they come back for 2, but the outfit looks like glass out there. It was skimming along the surface.
Yeah, we've had obviously a very hot week, haven't we? Just baked it out a little bit. It's been it felt like it was a bit slow over the weekend against Yorkshire in that 4-day game. Not quite as quick as we've seen Grace Road, but yeah, it just looks like it's starting to pick up a bit of speed with this sun we've had this week.
6 off the over already. Patel waits, 11 not out. Mahmood is in, and a slower ball. Back goes Patel, and it's misfielded again by Lancashire at short fine leg. That's still out there.
I think it might have been Luke Wood, I think, at short third man, I think it was.
It was Luke Wood, you're right. And Nick Kelly's the new man in. He will face his first ball, so we've got a left-hand, right-hand combination.
Yeah, I've obviously seen a bit of Nick over the last few weeks since he's been here, and obviously a terrific guy. Kiwis are always nice guys, but I think his style of play, seeing him use his feet quite a lot, even in the 4-day game when I was up here helping with the commentary, he was dancing down and hitting balls over the top. So I think I won't be surprised if we see a bit of that tonight, especially on this surface, try and get a bit more momentum, a bit more power into some of these shots with the ball not coming on as much.
Mahmood, 25 on his back, kicks up his heels now and runs in, bowls, and it's a full delivery which he whips off his heels. It's misfielded again. Well, that was a much tougher piece of fielding, though, to be fair, from Phil Salt diving to his left-hand side, and they get a single. Is that what you would be doing then on a pitch like this, to getting to the pitch of the ball, charging down if you can?
I think so, yeah, and I think it's not one of those conventional modern-day T20 innings, I don't think, on this pitch, and it's going to take somebody to almost anchor an innings and bat through and hopefully pick up maybe about 60 off 40 balls, 45 balls, and they'll put the team in a good spot.
Patel, 12 not out, waits, and that's heaved over the top of the infield, and he's going to get 4 runs for that. About 3-4 bounces, he was onto that quickly. Short ball from Mahmood, and just pulled it forward of square onto the leg side. So he was onto that quickly.
Yeah, really nice shot. Not always the play, bowling short on a slower pitch, unless you're going to go off pace. Looked like there was a little bit of width on that as well. I didn't quite tuck him up the previous over. I think he tucked him one up, which he rolled his hands on to 45, but that was just, had a bit of width on that so he could free his arms and got good contact.
Mahmood, final ball of the over, and Patel heaves that again from a fuller length and gets 4 more for it. That was a bit more of an agricultural heave to cow corner this time from Patel, but the same result. And Mahmood kicks the turf in frustration and kicks the dust away from the footholes. 4 to Patel. That's a good end to the over. The score is 33 for no loss. And so was that 16 off that over in the end? 33 for 1, Patel onto 20.
Yeah, really nice batting from Rishi. Looked like it might have been a slow ball, unless my eyes have deceived me. And he picked it up, waited for it perfectly, and really got his hands through at the right time, and it rocketed away to the boundary. So, yeah, lovely start from Rishi. Hopefully he can, as I say, keep going as he is, not play anything too rash, build a partnership. Wickets in hand are obviously going to be crucial.
Kelly is facing the new over from Hartley, still coming round the wicket, and the first ball is on a leg stump line, and Kelly whips it away on the leg side. Patel, Leicestershire's record 6 hitter in T20s. It was actually the return fixture against Lancashire that he overtook Aaron Lilly onto 52 sixes. He's now got 54. Yet to add to that total so far, but the Fox is getting going now in the power play. This is the start of the 5th over. They're 34 for 1. Hartley, reverse sweep from Patel, appeal for leg before, wicket not out, says the umpire, and that races away, in fact, for I presume 4 leg byes. Yes, I was preoccupied with the appeal for leg before wicket. They didn't spot where the ball went, and it's gone down for 4 runs, and that's a handy little bonus for Leicestershire. 38 for 1. Just looking at the replay.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I had a little bit. Obviously, we're not right behind, but I had a bit of heart in the mouth there a little bit. But it was outside the line. I think it was a good decision from the umpire, and it's just sped away for 4.
Hartley in, and Patel makes room for himself and drives at this, but it comes right off the bottom of the bat, and there is no run. You're listening to live T20 Blast cricket on a scorching evening in Ayleston, as Leicestershire take on Lancashire in the 7th game of the T20 Blast, the first of the 2nd batch of matches. As Hartley is in, Patel with a big cut, moved away from his stumps to whack that and clatter it through the covers, but actually they've stocked the field up there.
Yeah, there's a big gap. There's a big gap at extra cover, but it's a really difficult position to hit unless the bowler over pitches, because of the lack of pace. It's always going to go square, so they've not really got anybody at extra cover.
In comes Hartley. This one's down the ground, nobody's stopping that. He's got all of that, Patel, and that's a 1 bounce 4. Well, no, 6. Over the boundary rope, just over the boundary rope, forgive me. I thought that landed just in front, but it is 6 runs to Patel, and Leicestershire are motoring now, aren't they? It was a bit of a sort of watchful start, but they have started to really get going here.
That's the risk reward, I think, from a bowler. You try and fly it up there to try and get a wicket, but it can be easier to hit.
As he goes back this time, Patel. The 2 men out are at long on and mid wicket, both of them in play there, as it's pulled down the ground. Bit of a baseball shot from Patel. He moves on to 27 from 18. 45 for 1 is the score at the end of the 5th over. Kelly will be off strike, won't he, because they got a single at the end there. He's on 2 not out. So the run rate at 9 and over, which what were they after a couple of overs, where I was getting a tad worried, I have to say. Well, they got 7 off the second actually, so they've run so far 3, 7, 7, 16, and 12 off that over.
Yeah. And that's how quickly you can catch up. I think sometimes you can go a little bit early on these pitches and try and get off to a flyer, and you can find yourself a little bit unstuck. So, yeah, full credit to Rishi here. He's made a really good start. Hopefully he can continue.
It's going to be Luke Wood. He's going to bowl left arm over the wicket. He's going to bowl his second over. The first one went for just 3. He's in. Bowls to Patel. It's a Yorker, which is dug out by Patel. That's pleasantly played out to mid-wicket. Quite square mid-wicket out there. So there's no men out on the offside at all, and then the 2 men who are out, in fact they're reinforcing the leg side. They're bringing a man out.
Yeah, with the left hand just on strike now. I think they had deep mid-wicket and deep square for Patel, and they've got a deep cover. They've gone for a split field for Kelly.
Deep backward square leg as Wood is in. Kelly goes to cut this, flashes at it, but he misses it. And there is no run. Leicestershire, who lost their first 3 in this competition, but have now won 3 in a row in the build-up to this. Beat Yorkshire, Sussex and Lancashire. Lancashire, meanwhile, have had a pretty miserable season all told, actually. They're really struggling in the county championship. They've been bowled out very cheaply in the last 2 games. T20 form hasn't been much better. Wood past the umpire. Down the ground comes Kelly, and he's got all of that. That's a big shot down the ground, and it's 6 to long on. Well, Leicestershire are batting with some brutality here. It remains to be seen whether they're really getting the best out of this pitch, or whether this is an incredibly good surface for T20. But Wood there, whacked down the ground by Kelly for his first 6 of the night. He's 8 not out, and the 50 is up for Leicestershire, 52.
Yeah, terrific shot that. Use of the feet, as I thought he might do. Really important on this pitch. Make sure your weight's going right through the ball when it's slow.
As Wood is in, bowls, back goes Kelly, plays this more in a more circumspect manner down the ground. It bobbles and bounces towards Salt.
Is it no ball as well?
Or was it a no ball? So we've got a free hit. The umpire is lassoing as we speak. I thought that the lasso was a well-known, like that's what everybody called it. But then I've had a couple of commentators who didn't call it that. The sign that the umpire's doing there.
Yeah, I just call it a signal, the free hit signal. But yeah, I mean, I understand.
It is a lasso, isn't it?
I can understand that. Yeah, if you're into your westerns.
Here is Wood running away from us. He bowls a low full toss, which is dug out actually really well by Patel. They're going to come back for 2 through mid-wicket, and there is no run. I suppose that's one point. I thought that it was actually designed to be a lasso, but my guess nobody else thinks it is. So I must have just made that up.
Who knows who comes up with these signals, and it just is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
it was a good ball that from Luke Wood on the free hit. Didn't allow Patel to get underneath it. Had the luxury of bowling at a different batter, so he was able to change the field, so he could really set a plan for what he was going to bowl, and he executed it pretty well.
And he's in again now, bowls, and that's a thick outside edge. I don't know whether I'll give Patel the benefit of the doubt there. He looked like he probably played that late with some soft hands, trying to just play it away into the offside, but he doesn't get any runs for it. The run rate's still just under 10, 9.6 it is, 56 for 1 is the score.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been just a roll of the fingers, little off-cutter there from Luke Wood, which would probably explain why Patel was just a little bit early on it, and then, as you said, Adam, just played with soft hands and just retracted. He wasn't there to hit.
He's going nearly 12 and over before this in the T20. Wood in, bowls, and that is a massive hit. He's clattered that for 4 through mid-wicket, Patel. And if you see the ball coming, so if you see Wood with those little markers that a fast bowler might give you, that he's going to bowl a short one, if you're right on top of it, you really can time it to high heaven. And there's 4 more to the Foxes. 60 for no loss is the score. That's the end of the power play, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 60 for 1, Leicestershire. And they will, I suggest, Johnny will be very, very happy with that.
Yeah, I don't think it could really have asked for a huge amount more there, really, unless Ahmed had got going with Rishi Patel, but it wasn't to be. But yeah, you definitely take that on this surface. As we've said, we'll see how the rest of this innings pans out, but with the field out, it could be tricky to come by boundaries. But again, depends how well the bowling side can shut it down. But if they can do a good job, 1 boundary is a long way out. I don't think I've ever seen a boundary that big in T20 cricket, out to deep point as well, looking as Nick Kelly's facing up.
He's the left-hander. It's Shadab Khan to bowl his first ball of the season for Lancashire, and the ball sneaks through the legs of both Kelly, who went for a reverse sweep, and Joss Butler, the wicket keeper. And was there a signal there from the umpire?
Yeah,
Forgive
it was
me.
buys. I think it was. It looked, by the reaction, looked very close to, I think, leg stump from Kelly on the reverse sweep. Obviously didn't make contact. I think he'd have been fancying his chances there. There was just 1 man behind square on the offside. The man out deep cover was obviously very square as well towards the point angle, but if he'd have beaten that man, he'd probably got 4.
So Shadab Khan is in, and that's swept very well by Patel. He split the 2 fielders. Because it's such a long boundary, he won't get any more than 2, so the score moves on to 63 for 1. And Patel, he got a 50 last week against Yorkshire. Well, he's such a prolific batsman. He's one of the senior batters in this Leicestershire team, certainly with so many people injured, but he probably would be at full strength, as the opener is now on to 36. Khan in, bowling leg spin back. It's a quicker, flatter one from Khan that time. One of the best T20 players of all time in a Pakistan sense, Shadab Khan, all-rounder. Got an incredible record. Nearly 4,000 T20 runs. And he bowls as a reverse sweep, sorry, normal sweep actually, and there's a huge appeal for leg before wicket, but not given by the umpire. Patel hitting the pads.
There was a little flick from Butler as well there. It might have been close to a run out. Again was called not out as well.
What's the replay of that? Oh, he didn't quite get a good enough view of where it struck the pad. Yeah, 4,000 runs, but also nearly 400 wickets for Shadab Khan. Just back from playing for Pakistan as they hosted Australia in a 3-match T20 series. He comes in to bowl the 5th ball of the over, and back goes Patel and beats the infield, but there's a man out mid-off who will run round to a squarer position, more like extra cover, to launch the ball back in. Patel on to 37, 64 for 1.
Yeah, I think this period's going to be really important with the running between the wickets. Trying to hit those pockets, as we call them, out over the close extra cover and mid-wicket fielders. If we can find those areas, run hard, pick up your 2s, keep the scoreboard ticking over.
Final ball of the 7th over. It's chipped in the air by Kelly, but he beats Shadab Khan, and it goes over his head and runs down to long on. That is the end of the over. 65 for 1 is the score here as we bring you live coverage on BBC Radio Leicester of Lancashire against Leicestershire at Grace Road. And a few words from you, Johnny, and then we will be back where Jack Rafferty will join you.
Yeah, really good start from the Foxes here. Obviously keeping those wickets in hand through the power play as well, not losing too many wickets. It's a bit of an adage in T20 cricket, you lose 3 in the power play, you lose 80% of your matches, so Leicestershire have avoided that in this first power play, so we'll see how this middle phase of the game can go, if we can take it deep and build a partnership. I think it's going to be one of those pitches where it's going to be challenging to start on, so I think if you're in, trying to take the responsibility and really keep that momentum going for your side. Obviously for Lancashire will be looking to try and break this partnership here as Kelly's just getting set and going.
Yeah, Blatherick, the man in from the pavilion end to Nick Kelly's at the wickets now. It's just knocked onto the onside by Kelly. Some quick running. Do they go for a second? They do. It's good running actually between Patel and Kelly to get the second run there. I feel like Adam will be buzzing that you've just cracked out the 80% loss rate after 3 wickets, because you like that one, don't you, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if the stats changed. I mean, I probably heard it about 5 years ago, and I'm still recycling it out. Or you keep that in mind when you're playing. You know that it can be a challenge. So you know your bowlers are going to be up against it if you've lost 3 in the power play.
Yes, Blatherwick in once again to Kelly. This one onto the offside again. The single taken this time. It was collected by Keaton Jennings, the Lancashire captain. Well, Adam says it every week, so you don't have to pretend that you heard it 5 years ago. You can say you heard it a couple of weeks ago on this very stream on BBC Radio Leicester, the Leicestershire YouTube stream as well. Just a reminder, if you are listening on BBC Radio Leicester, in about a minute's time, you're going to have a choice of listening as Blatherwick comes in once again, this time to Rishi Patel, who knocks that one nicely onto the leg side. There was a fielder out there though, so it will just be the single. Kevin and Kube, if you're listening on FM, will take you through your Friday night. But of course, if you want to continue listening to live T20 blast action, you either need DAB or BBC Sounds, BBC Sport website and app, as well. As Blatherwick is coming in for the 4th ball of the over, this time to Nick Kelly. That one's high, it's a bouncer, it's over Kelly's head, and that'll be a dot ball.
It's nicely bowled, that. Obviously seen him coming very late there, and Kelly's just run down the wicket, and yeah, really good option to dig that in there. Going to stop him from scoring. It's going to get onto him a bit quicker than he was probably expecting.
So your choice of listening right now, if you want the cricket, DAB and BBC Sounds. If you want Kevin and Kube, FM is where you need to be. Thank you though for sticking with us and the cricket, as Leicestershire take another single. And obviously the power play being over affects things, Johnny, but are we seeing a tactic from Lancashire that is restricting Leicestershire in the last couple of overs, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's just with the extra fielders out, obviously you get a little bit more margin for error. I think Blatherwick, from these 5 balls, I think he's bowled 4 slower balls, and then that bouncer.
In he comes to Rishi Patel, who hits this one into the air. Is it going to be caught on the boundary? It is caught. It was a brilliant dive. It was difficult to tell for a second because there didn't seem to be an immediate reaction from either the person who caught it or his teammates. I think his teammates were the same as me, watching from a distance, trying to work out if he'd kept it. He clearly had, and Leicestershire have lost their 2nd wicket. It's a brilliant catch actually out there from I think it's Khan. Yeah,
so,
it is.
Terrific catch,
showing his international pedigree there. That is a wonderful catch, and Rishi Patel goes for a respectable 38. Johnny, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was actually struck it really well, and I think that's a sign. He struck that really well, and it was still caught inside the boundary rope. It might have just crept over for 6. If there was no fielder there, it might have just landed inside for a 1-bounce 4. So again, it was a good over from Blatherwick, but a lot of pace off. I'm not sure, I couldn't quite tell if that was a full pace off delivery or whether it was just into a sort of back of a length area. But again, if there was a bit more pace in that with fine leg up, that'd have probably gone well behind square and sailed to the boundary, but not to be. Terrific catch. Fielding's going to be massive in this game. We've already had a misfield out at the deep cover to the long side from Blatherwick, I believe it was, earlier on in the power play. So yeah, fielding's going to be massive tonight. Take your catches, save those 2s where possible. Yeah, and I think the middle phase is going to be a massive part of this game for both teams.
Well, the team sheet that was posted on social media suggested we would see Joey Everson at this time. It's Ben Cox who's come in, as Khan has ball in hand now to Nick Kelly. Takes a swipe at that one, attempted sweep, nothing going with it though. It'll be another dot ball, in fact given as a wide by the umpire. I don't want you to give too many insider secrets away, but was that expected? Do you think that it would be Ben Cox at this point, or is that a shift around in the order as Khan comes in once again straight back to him?
Yeah, I believe it was, with the makeup of the side going out today from the rumours I was hearing coming from the dressing room.
And that one's hit once again by Nick Kelly. It's another dot ball.
I think it's just important not to panic here. If it takes a couple of 2 or 3 balls to get going, don't panic. Keep rotating the strike.
Khan once again, that one swung by Kelly. Is that going to go all the way to the boundary? There's a man chasing it, dives, does well to stop it going out for the boundary. Couple of runs taken by Kelly and Cox.
Yeah, really nice shot over pitch from Livingston. Fielder did so well to cover the ground there, but that's the advantage of with the field inside, with the boundaries being so big, you can really make some good ground and save fours out there.
Khan in once again around the wicket to the left-handed Kelly, takes a swipe at it, gets a little bit, in fact it'll go past Khan, diving down to his right, and Leicestershire able to steal a single. Just going back to the wicket of Rishi Patel, as you said, it wasn't a bad shot from Rishi. So as a batsman, are they more frustrating or less frustrating to get out? Because clearly when you play a bad shot and get out, you will be frustrated at yourself, but are they almost more frustrating just...
Yeah, interesting dismissal that. I mean, that's obviously a really strong shot for Ben Cox, that on the sweep. Plays those shots so well. First ball's obviously just not quite got underneath it a little bit too much. I think it was maybe almost cramped him up for a little bit of room, was maybe a little bit too full. Just tried to help it round rather than hard sweep, and it just ended up, with the nature of this pitch, taking the top edge. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be disappointed, but again, probably similar with those 2 dismissals. It's a shot that, you know, Ben will obviously has practiced a lot. He scores a lot of runs from it, and it's a shot that's very viable on this pitch with it being slow. And again, it'll be the same with Rishi. Like, you always look and see, was that the shot I was meant to be playing? And for him, you know, I'm pretty sure he'd have said 10 times out of 10 he'd probably be playing exactly the same shot. You just hope that you execute it a little bit better, maybe find the gap a little bit more. Sometimes it can be just a bit more challenging to go aerial on a slower pitch, so whether maybe hitting the ball harder along the floor might have been obviously a low risk, safer option, but your job's out there to score runs and you're trying to take maximum as you can.
Well, Livingston now taking on Ashton Turner, Leicestershire's 2 overseas players in together. And I mean, we've seen it already, haven't we, in the Blast this season, how much of a difference these 2 boys together can make.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've definitely seen shot of the season from Ashton Turner down at Sussex, of the bouncer off Tamar Mills, full-blooded pull shot, which I don't think got more than probably about 10 feet off the ground to the long side and hammered into the advertising boards. So yeah, we know what power he's got, but these 2 run really well between the wickets, and they're going to have to do that again tonight, as I've already alluded to. But yeah, I don't think it's cause for panic yet. I obviously lost a couple of quick wickets there, but yeah, there's still plenty of batting to come, and I think it massively helps having that strong start in the power play. And, you know, obviously looking ahead to the second innings, some wickets in the power play for the Foxes will put them right on top in this game, because middle overs is going to be challenging.
Blatherick in, he's taken over from the pavilion end on to his second over. That one just defended away by Ashton Turner, who, as Johnny said, made a real difference though at the win down at Sussex. Hopefully him and Kelly can start building a partnership after a couple of quick wickets for Lancashire. In comes Blatherick once again to Ashton Turner. This one clubbed onto the leg side. There is a fielder there though at long on, and just the single taken.
I think as a bowling unit here, especially as seam bowlers, you've got to try and be as unpredictable as you can. Obviously you don't want to bowl as much as slow balls are going to be really effective tonight on this pitch. You don't want to be going to that 5-6 balls in your over. Batters are going to get used to that, so being able to mix it up, be unpredictable.
Blatherick over the wicket to the left-handed Kelly, who drives that one pretty square on the offside to take the single. And not been a boundary for a while, it feels. Maybe I feel like Leicestershire could do with a couple to get that momentum back into their play.
Absolutely. Momentum's massive in T20 cricket. Swings and roundabouts.
In comes Blatherick. That one clipped nicely onto the leg side, and Leicestershire aren't going to go for the quick double here. Kelly and Turner deciding that single was sufficient.
Yeah, it's definitely the right call there. Out to the short side, a little bit easier to patrol that side from a stopping two's point of view.
And we're what? Approaching the halfway stage for Leicestershire as Blatherick comes in for the 5th ball of this 10th over. That one again square onto the offside. And how will they be feeling as we approach the halfway stage in terms of where they're at, Leicestershire?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not privy to the conversations in the changing rooms, but hopefully the... Especially,
aren't you?
Oh, but not,
Come on.
not currently.
You're not on the WhatsApp?
No, definitely not up here. Hopefully Rishi's had a good assessment of the pitch and knows what a good score is on this wicket.
Blatherick into Ashton Turner, yet to get properly going, and that'll be another dot ball, and that is the end of the 10th over. And as we say, at the halfway stage, Leicestershire 79 for 3.
I think it's very similar to, or a very similar surface to probably what it was up at the Riverside. Obviously when I think we were short of 150 there, and it was always going to be a massive power play in our bowling innings, and obviously we've unfortunately a drop catch in the first over, and then Graham Clark got on a heater and was sending the ball to all parts, and then it's just really difficult in those first 6 overs with 2 out to really keep the runs down. So
Livingston in once again. That one hit straight back to him by Nick Kelly, who remains on 19, and he'll be looking to contribute as he did in those couple of wins before the break. And that one looks like it might be heading towards the boundary. It's not. There is a fielder out there, and in fact, was it just the
one?
single?
Blatherick did well there.
Yeah,
stretching his hamstrings, might have just had to overstretch to keep that to 1. It was good fielding though. I think it's just important, as I've said before, not to panic in these situations. Take that little bit of extra time, because when you can get in, get that pace of the pitch, it's going to take a bit longer than a flat one. But when you get in, then you can really cash in and make use of it.
Yeah, Turner facing up to Livingston once again. That one is hit into the air. It's going to be safe in terms of a drop. Fielder there to prevent it going for a 4 as well, but good running from Turner and Kelly to get the 2.
Yes, obviously one of his good shots that he can go to. Strong shot. Obviously they've got a man on the reverse sweep, 2 men in the extra cover region. Tough to go on this into out on this pitch when it's so slow, but obviously if you can get it right, the reward is obviously very high. You've got acres of space out there over the top of the extra cover fielders.
Livingston at the second attempt in for this ball. That one edged by Turner. Is it going to run away to the boundary? No, it's not. Again, fielders well placed to prevent the boundary, but another couple for the Foxes. How important is that if the boundaries aren't coming, to ensure that you are turning 1s into 2s where you can?
Yeah, I think it's just maintaining the scoreboard rotating all the time and trying to not chew up as many dots as possible.
Reverse sweep from Turner, which is going to result in another single.
Those dots, as they say, build pressure, don't they? Especially when you're going to be in a low scorer. If you're creating dots as a fielding side and stopping the boundaries, then that's when you can. If you get a wicket, then that's when you can pile in on the new batter, because it's not easy to start. So if you're still ticking over the runs, it keeps the momentum going.
Livingston into Kelly. That one driven lovely onto the offside, and that will get Leicestershire their first boundary in a while. Fielder chucked himself at it, but unable to get anything on it, and that was a lovely shot, wasn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, it looked like he just tried to bowl quick and wide to try and get out of the over there, Livingston, and Nick did really well to reach that. But there's obviously acres of space. That man's quite square out on the deep cover boundary, so there's a lot of space for him to hit that in and make good contact, and it got to the boundary. But it just felt like that was coming for the Foxes. Just that rotation of strike, it feels like you're picking up a little bit of momentum. As soon as you get a few dots and then you pick up a wicket, it feels like you're not sure where the next boundary's coming from, but these two have just started to build a little bit of a partnership. Hopefully they can grab hold of that momentum and keep it in the Foxes' favour for as long as possible with these 9 overs remaining.
And is that what you were saying there? Because clearly you lose 2 wickets quickly. It can be easy to panic and think, well, we need to start hitting runs as quickly as possible. But actually, as Khan comes in once again, reverse sweep this time from Turner, and it's gone for the boundary as well.
Yeah, it's that momentum, and again there, it's one shot. They've kept a mid-wicket in for that ball, so that shot was well on for Ashton there, and he's executed it really well. It's just avoiding. I think on this surface in particular, you have more time than you think. They always say that in T20 cricket, you've always got more time than you think, but nowadays it's like you've got to come in, you've got to hit boundaries, you've got to get on with it. But on this surface, you've got to adapt, because that's not, 200's not going to be, the par score tonight. So you've got to try and take that into account.
Khan into Turner once again, this time driven more conventionally onto the offside. That'll be just a single. And, based on what you were saying there, as, allow yourself the time to get settled and then the shots will come. Presumably then it's no coincidence that you wait ages for a boundary and then 2 come along at once.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's how long, as I said, how long can you keep hold of that momentum, or then can you apply that pressure back onto the field inside, and then they feel like they've got to make a play, they've got to try and change the bowling. They might not want to bring somebody back as early as they want to.
Khan into Nick Kelly, this time straight back towards him in the air.
Oh, crowd catch, I think.
I was going to say, was that a little... was that just cheeky?
I think he knew it as well.
Khan in once again to Nick Kelly, who clubs at that one nicely again onto the offside, just a single taken. And Kelly on 25, Turner on 13. Starting to get into a bit more of a rhythm. 6 from this over so far, with a couple of balls to come from Shadab Khan, Pakistani international. That one swung at by Turner, didn't get the contact he'd have liked. What was he going for there, Johnny?
Yeah, I think it was the old slog sweep, or hard slog sweep he was looking at with the line, and just again that ball just sticking in the surface, got it, as they say, right off the cue end. Needed a bit of chalk for that one to spin away.
Shadab Khan in once again to Ashton Turner, who gets much more onto that one, just onto his back foot, and it'll be again just the single. End of the 12th over, 96 for 3. Where will they be hoping to get at this stage, do you think, Johnny? What will be considered a decent score from Leicestershire at this point?
We've got 8 overs left. You probably, 10 and over is going to get you close to 180. I think looking at this pitch from afar, not being out there and really being able to assess it, I think you'd be happy with 160. You probably feel like you've maybe got a chance if you're slightly below that, if you start well with the ball. But yeah, anything above 160, I think you've obviously got a really good chance. Obviously, you're still going to have to bowl well. You can't bowl rubbish and still expect to win, but you're giving yourself a good chance of winning.
Hartley, reverse sweep from Turner. Stopped by the fielder though. Hartley with his 1 wicket so far. That of Rehan Ahmed. And in he comes once again to Ashton Turner. That one though straight to the fielder. And another dot ball. From a Leicestershire perspective, you are listening to live T20 Blast Action, BBC Radio Leicester, and on the Leicestershire YouTube stream, as Hartley comes in once again. Again, reverse sweep by Ashton Turner. That one is going to race to the boundary. If at first you don't succeed, try again. He had a couple that didn't quite go his way, a couple that went to fielders. That one lovely though from Turner, and he gets the Foxes another boundary.
Yeah, really nice shot. That wasn't a terrible ball from Hartley there. Obviously saw him move, went into the pitch, but again, this slow surface, so difficult to stop players when they've got sweeps and reverse sweeps as a spinner.
In he comes once again. That one a bit more of a club from Ashton Turner. They are going to run in and try and get a second, are the 2 Leicestershire overseas. That boundary, by the way, from Turner took Leicestershire to their 100. They're now on 102 for 3.
Yeah, so difficult. Obviously, he's given himself some room there and tried to hit really hard through straight extra cover. Obviously, the man at deep cover had gone really square to almost like there was 2 points in and a deep point as well for the reverse. They've changed the field now.
Hartley in once again. This one onto the leg side. Just the single taken. And
yeah, another nice over here for the Foxes. Ticking along at 8 and over these last couple of overs. Obviously the run rate's at 8s as well. And you're just hoping that somebody can come off in those last 3 or 4 overs and really get you up to a really strong total.
In comes Hartley once again. That one clipped around by Kelly. It's just going to be the single though. And that's where these two will want to be as we're on the stream. Johnny, give the Leicestershire fans a wave. There you go. It's a shame that it's me right next to the camera rather than you. I'm scared that everybody on the stream is going to see just how hot and sweaty I am on this very warm evening here at Uptonsteel Grace Road, as Leicestershire looking to beat a very, very experienced Lancashire team. So many T20 matches under their belt, so many T20 runs. I mean, Josh Butler himself, 14,000 odders. Another vastly experienced T20 player, Shadab Khan, has the ball once again from the pavilion end. Nick Kelly, a couple of steps up the track towards this one. Just the single though. Did he change his mind ever so slightly there, do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, I think he looked like he was looking to give himself a bit of room to the leg side to help free up his arms and try and go straight back over his head, but I think it looked like it was the googly from Khan spinning away, so he just adapted and knocked it out to long off for a single, push for 2, but Turner slipped, so it was just a single.
Yeah, Khan in once again. That one driven beautifully down the track. It is stopped by a fielder. No, it's not. Salt just down in front of us, had got himself in position to stop that, but the sheer pace from the shot from Ashton Turner, it just looked like it clashed off his shin, which would be a painful one. He just slid over it, didn't he?
Yeah, just went through him and he struck that very, very hard. He's not very wide there either, Phil Salt. He didn't have far to travel, but he struck that powerfully. He couldn't get across.
Khan in once again to Ashton Turner. Reverse sweep from him this time. It's over the fielders, and that's going to run for another boundary. And Ashton Turner all of a sudden looks like he's in the mood.
Yeah, terrific batting. That reverse switch hit that he plays so well. It's always really challenging when somebody plays so well over extra cover and switch hits as well on the reverse sweep. It's so difficult to get that field right, and it's really challenging, especially on a pitch like this. It can be easier to hit square of the wicket just because the ball sits in a little bit more. It's easier to sort of help it on its way. Got to change the field back to 2 extra covers, and they've got a man now on that reverse sweep, so I won't be surprised if he tries to go over extra again.
Khan into Turner. He's gone big on that one. It looked like potential stumping, but he just got himself back into position. Applauds between wicketkeeper and bowler.
It was fired in that one, wasn't it? A bit of overspin. Got a little bit of bounce out the surface. Really nicely bowled.
Khan in to Turner again. Takes a step up the track, then back. And just the single onto the offside. Khan will have his final ball of the over, and then I'll hand you back to Adam Whitty to take you through the next few overs. Johnny Tattersall with us this evening on BBC Radio Leicester Sport, as Shadab Khan comes in for the final ball of the over to Nick Kelly this time. That one towards a fielder. It will just be the single. Decent over though from the Foxes, 11 from it. Johnny Tattersall.
Yeah, it's a terrific partnership this. I think it's 41, I think it is now, between Turner and Kelly. Really got the momentum in the favour of the Foxes, which is massive at this stage of the game. It'll be interesting to see what happens if there's a wicket, how that momentum shifts again. It's going to be Livingston from the Bennett end.
Yeah, this is this feels like the key part of the game to me. I don't know about you. It's because you've got players of such high quality. If these two are here in 3-4 overs, there's the potential for a very big score here, as Hartley's going to continue, and he's driven down the ground. In fact, that's Livingston, isn't it, who's come on the Bennett end, as you were saying, and driven down the ground from Kelly. He gets a single. So the run rate is 8.2, 115 for 3. You're saying about 160's par?
Yeah, I think obviously we're going well now, so you're obviously looking at slightly more, but the wickets change that massively.
Livingston, back goes Turner. He's timing it very, very nicely indeed. All the fielders on the leg side are back, and they come through for a very well run 2, playing it out to deep mid wicket. A throw comes in, and Butler doesn't quite gather it. 1-8 for 3. Turner's such a good player, isn't he? He's just got such crisp timing, great shot selection.
Yeah, the running between the wickets as well has been a big highlight for me. It's not just the 4s and 6s.
Livingston in. Turner. Oh, he's bowled him! And Livingston has got Ashton Turner, and that's a big moment in the game, that, because Turner was starting to motor, really starting to put Lancashire on the back foot. And Livingston, who has been brilliant with bat and ball since returning from the IPL, has got another wicket for Lightning, and it's a 4th one. 118 for 4, and a very profitable partnership there between Kelly and Livingston ends.
Yeah, really good partnership. Set a really good platform for the Foxes to try and make it close to that 180 mark if they can. But yeah, that shot is obviously one of his strengths, but it's such a difficult shot to execute successfully time and time again on a slow pitch like this with a bit of spin, as you saw in that replay if you managed to see it. That ball pitched outside. Leg stump, as Turner tried to give himself some room to open up that extra cover, and it spun, hit top of middle and leg. So the spin out there and off it. And that's why it can be, the pitch. I would be surprised at this time of the year and the weather we've had today if there's going to be any dew coming into play to quicken the wicket up. So I can't see it getting any better, this pitch, to bat on, which is why I think runs on the board could be massive tonight. Obviously you've still got to come out and bowl well, but we've still got to get to that total 160 plus.
Livingston bowls to Everson, who is the new man in, and he whips it away into the leg side, where the fielders are all still out on the leg side there, and he gets a single. Livingston, such a useful player. He's a very tall, bulky spinner. Got 5 wickets in the county championship last week for them. He's just got that international level class as he comes in now, bowling round the wicket, and Kelly hits it in the air. He nearly gets caught and bowled, but instead gets 4, and nearly took Livingston's head off in the process as well. But Kelly moves into the 30s with that drive. It was a full ball on a half volley length, and he whacked it just past the fingertips of Livingston for 4.
Yeah, I'm not sure he tried to hit that straight over his head. It looked like his bat path was looking a little bit more towards long on. It might have just, again, that slow nature of this pitch, just held slightly and he just sliced across it a bit, but committed to the shot, made good contact, got 4.
Kelly waits as Livingston comes in and bats this down the ground, sort of a bunt that really, just dragging it off his leg stump, and gets a single for it. That is the end of the 15th over. 124 for 4 is the score. Nick Kelly, Leicestershire's top scorer in the T20 Blast, is on 34 not out. Everson is on 1. Just looking at Livingston's bowling figures, he's got that's his 7th wicket in 5 matches, going at 8 and over. But I think he's their top run scorer, and he's played 4 innings. He's one of their best, second highest wicket taker, and he's only bowled 15 overs too. He's a real sign of the class that they've got. And we're yet to see the international quality too of the likes of Butler and Salt in the batting innings. Shadab Khan is going to bowl his final over. His 3 wickets previously have gone for 22. He's going to bowl from the pavilion end, right arm over the wicket to the left-handed Kelly, who makes room for himself and tries to wristily flick this down the ground. He doesn't get anything there because Shadab Khan is a very athletic looking figure, stops it.
Yeah, I think it's just a quick build of that partnership for most of this over, if we can.
Kelly comes down the track and it beats him, but it beats Josh Butler as well. It hits his pad and squirts away into the offside, and Kelly tilts his head to the sky at that. That was a stumping opportunity for Lancashire, which they have missed.
Yeah, it was nicely bowled. I think it just might have been another googly, but it was definitely out on the wide line. Just missed the replay there. But yeah, it was out towards the wide line, really full, but it's a missed opportunity.
So difficult as a wicket-keeper down there, offside the left-hander, and you're totally blind to it until the last instance. Everson to face, he's one not out. Shadab Khan comes in, he hits it back straight to him, and it's a caught and bowled. Just chipped up off a thick inside edge, and a 5th wicket for Leicestershire falls to near silence around the ground. Good take by Khan above his head, and another wicket falls. Khan strikes, and the Foxes 1-2-5 for 4. It's Khan's first Lancashire wicket.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed with that. Well, Joey, fairly soft dismissal in the end, unfortunately. Just a little chip back to Khan. Can be difficult to play on here. Firing that ball into the surface and it just holding up.
Now, this is an interesting innings for Ben Green. He is a very, very good batsman, actually. It's just that I'm not sure we've really seen it yet, certainly in the T20s, or certainly this season. I've seen him, for Somerset, completely turn games on his head at sort of 6 wickets down. But if you're coming in at number 5, no, number 7, what am I talking about?
5 wickets
number
down.
7, 5 wickets down. If you're coming in at 5 wickets down, you need to be able to make the impact.
Yeah, I think he just needs to give himself a little bit of time here. There's still 27 balls left in this innings, so still a bit of time.
3 balls left in this over. Khan in to Green. That was a slow ball. That dribbled its way to him. He timed it very nicely indeed, Green. You can probably hear that on our effects microphone. And it raced to cover, where it is fielded by Tom Hartley. Khan, right arm over the wicket, bowls, and off his stumps it's punched off the back foot by Green. That was a pleasant stroke, and he gets a single out to deep cover. Blatherwick fields. I think he's Notts Academy, Blatherwick.
Yeah.
It's a very Notts name, that.
Yes.
Blatherwick, North Notts, that is. Notts the next visitors for Leicestershire on Sunday, with a big local derby, as Khan is in, and that's a decent leg spinner. That got some movement off the pitch, did Shadab Khan. That's a good over. I think it was just 1 run off that, and a bye.
And a bye, so yeah, 1 on the bowler's figures.
Wow.
Good set of 4 from Shadab Khan there. Lovely, exactly what you want from your overseas professional. 1 for 23 off his 4.
1-2-6 for 5 the score. And they were motoring at one point, Leicestershire, but they've just slowed down a tad with a few quite tight overs. But this game's still in the balance. 160 still sound about right to you?
Yeah, and I think it's shown, as I said earlier, obviously when Kelly and Turner were going, the momentum was very much with the Foxes, and it looked like 180 was a possibility. But it's amazing on these types of pitches, when you get a wicket, the momentum completely gets sucked out of the batting team.
Livingston is going to bowl his wrist spinners, and it's a flat full ball first up, and Green prods at that over towards the leg side. 1-2-7-5. The run rate down underneath 8 for the first time in quite a while. Live T20 cricket, the Leicestershire stream on YouTube, also on BBC Radio Leicester on DAB, on the BBC Sport website and app, and BBC Sounds too, as we have all of our T20 games. Ball-by-ball coverage of County Championship and T20 cricket. Livingston doesn't bowl that. Why doesn't he bowl that? Did he just get his rhythm mixed up? Kelly didn't look like he did anything particularly adventurous?
I think he was waiting to see if Kelly was going to do something, move around the crease.
And he comes in now, and he does move across his crease this time, Kelly, and he withdraws just as he's about to deliver the ball. And now Kelly's batting on off stump, and now drives this, and it's a great shot for 4. Well, all the silliness and the dancing around hasn't paid off for Liam Livingston, because Kelly started batting outside off stump for that ball, and he's won that tiny little battle, launching the ball along the ground through extra cover.
Yeah, I think he put himself under pressure there, because he had to deliver that. He couldn't not deliver that one again, and then I think he's just been rushed into bowling, just getting it down there and not looked like he probably wasn't quite clear on what his plan was.
That's the cricketing equivalent of I think you're a football fan, aren't you? You know that Virgil van Dijk penalty with Aretha Balaga? No, not Aretha Balaga. Who's the Chelsea goalkeeper? It's Livingston bowls, and Kelly dabs this out into the leg side. League Cup final. Do you know the penalty I mean, where he dances around and then stands on one side of the goal, and Van Dijk just hits it to that side of the goal where there's less space and scores. That was a little bit like that. 1-3-2 for 5. Green it is who waits. So we've faced to see the fourth ball of the innings from Livingston. It's glanced into the leg side, so we've had 7 off the over from the first 4 balls.
Yeah, it's a really important boundary from Kelly as well. Just takes that pressure off. Green at the other end, not having to go too hard too early, feeling like he's the one who's got to take the risk.
Kelly 39 not out, left-handed reverse sweeps. That was an incredibly slow ball, and it's a wide, and Livingston isn't happy about it because he's saying that Kelly has moved right across his stumps, and so it wasn't a wide, but it was well outside that blue line. I can see both sides of that one. Yeah,
it was obviously you still can't quite bowl it off the pitch. I don't know how close it was to off the pitch. It's subjective, isn't it?
Here comes Livingston, bowls a Yorker, which is driven down the ground, and Kelly drives to get a single. Digs it off a half volley length. Doesn't look like there's that much chat between Kelly and Livingston. It's all sort of non-verbal peacockery. As Green waits, Livingston bowls. It's a reverse sweep from Green. It's a very good shot. He's going to get just a single for it. They think about a second but decide against it. So it's going to be Kelly. And it's going to be Green on strike for the next over. He'll keep the strike with a single. So that was a much better over from a Leicestershire perspective. There was 10 off it in the end. 1-3-6 for 5 is the score. We have 3 overs left. And I have to say, I thought you were being a bit downcast when you were saying 160 was par when Turner and Kelly were going well, but you've turned out to be right. I think it'll probably be maybe a bit more than 160. Probably the target now 165, something like that.
Yeah,
maybe.
Well, if you get anything over 160, I think if you're saying that that's probably par on this pitch with the boundary sizes, anything over that you're taking, it's added runs, it's a bonus. Hopefully Green can get hold of a few here.
Mahmood, none for 23 off 2 overs, bowls a slower ball first up, which they decide against a run. There probably was one there for Green, but they, I suspect, thought that Mahmood was going to gather it, running on his follow-through. Such a pleasant evening. It's cooled down a little bit. The sun's gone behind a bit of cloud over on the right-hand side, so the prescription sunglasses are off and just the prescription sunglasses on. The oppressive heat has disappeared. That still doesn't mean it's not all pastel colours decorated around the ground. Very healthy audience for this. As Mahmood bowls from the pavilion end, well outside off stump, and that's a wide. Whether he thought Green was going to cross his stumps, he maybe just got his accuracy a tad wrong there. So he'll have to bowl that one again.
Yeah, I think that's the unpredictability. The slow ball first ball and then pace on. Second ball there was just a little bit wide of the mark. Makes it difficult to set up for. Ideally, if you know it's going to be predominantly slow, it makes it that little bit more challenging to set up for the slower ball when you've got a pace delivery that's a lot quicker.
Mahmood bounds in, bowls, and that's a wonderful punch off the back foot from Green, and there's an overthrow from that. They thought about the second but decided against it, so just the single. Green on to 5 off 7, 138 for 5. Kelly on 40.
It was a bit of a surrender there from Green, wasn't it? He knew with a hit he was going to be out, but there's the risk you're sort of taking. You need to keep the scoreboard moving. As I say, it can be difficult to hit boundaries as a new man coming in. You know, Kelly's on 40 and he's been there 34 balls, so even for him it's not been free-flowing.
He's got 4 balls in this over to try and hit some boundaries. Got the men up square, fine on the offside. It's a good ball from Mahmood. Yorker outside leg stump, but Kelly had moved across towards the leg side, so it was still inside the line of it. It's a dot ball.
You know, and I think that's the one thing that plays into your hands as a bowling team. Big boundaries, slower pitch. your margin for error obviously becomes a lot bigger. Obviously, when you're on a flat surface and the scores are 200, 220, like they are in quite a lot of the fixtures, it's not a game to be a bowler, because your margin for error when you miss, you can miss only by a little bit and it can go sailing over the ropes, but on this pitch you get that little bit more margin for error.
Kelly waits and goes for a big sweep. Either just hit his pad or the inside of his bat. The umpire looks like he's going to signal leg bye. He's readying his thigh, and there it is. He taps it. Leg bye. And so we've got one ball left in the over. This has actually been very tight so far. We've only had... No, we've got 2 balls left in the over, forgive me. Just looking at the scoreboard there. We've had 3 off it. That's Mahmood. It's a big long runner. Tall, broad-shouldered, dark-haired chap, Mahmood. And he runs away from us, kicks up his heels, past the umpire, bowls a slower delivery that's whacked baseball style down the ground, chase for the fielder at long on, and it's fielded by Salt. They come back for 2 and they make it in time. Good running from Green and Kelly. Green moves on to 7. We've got 1 ball left in the over. Suggest that was probably good cricket all round, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, you can't really do much more as a batsman there. I mean, it was a slow ball into the pitch, obviously slow out the surface again, and Green's clubbed it down the ground, but as we said, these boundaries being out sort of as far as they can today gives that chance for the fielders to get round and cut it off. So we've got a little change in the field. Deep squares come up and fine legs gone back for this last ball. I suspect it could be Yorker, perhaps.
In comes Mahmood. Green waits, it is full and just short of a Yorker length, but not by much. Green went for a sweep and misses it, so dot ball. Good over that for Lancashire. 1-4-1 for 5, just a 5 off it, and we've got 2 overs left. The people in the big pizza pods are the little hobbit houses, the pizza pods. They're these big circles with a table in them and astroturf on the top, so they look like where Frodo would come out of. They're enjoying themselves, waving at the big screen.
They're probably one of the furthest points away from the pitch, aren't they? As well, which, unfortunately for this game. Ideally, it'd have been better if the pitch was maybe 2 or 3 pitches closer. It'd have been maybe a slightly better view.
People in the hospitality tent over on the far side there, I can see, enjoying a few beers. It was the Sky game where the DJ got his laptop ruined by a shot down the ground. Sat outside that hospitality tent.
Yeah, a couple of big overs here for both sides. Take the momentum into the next innings.
1-4-1 for 5 is the score. Kelly seems to be the key here. He is 40 not out. He's faced 36 balls. He faces left-hander with Wood bowling left arm over the wicket, and he goes to scoop it, and that's a wide. Kelly moving right across his stumps, and Wood isn't happy about that at all, because again Kelly is moving really far to the side. But and is that Keaton Jennings coming over for a chat with the umpire? You're right. This is again, I can see both sides, but I think what you said last time is right. That was nearly off the pitch. It was so wide. So
yeah, I'm not too sure. I think it's more when you move a lot early on. I think the ball was probably half, about to be delivered as he was moving across to play the shot. I can't quite tell without the replay.
Wood bowls. Kelly waits, goes for a massive mow over towards cow corner, and that would have probably landed in Aylstone Meadows, I suspect, had he connected with it, but as it was, he missed it, so there's no run. Dot ball.
Yeah, good. Well, say good first 2 deliveries. No damage really from the first 2, apart from he's got to bowl an extra ball, but I think the idea was definitely right from Wood. Keep it out the hitting arc as much as possible.
He's going to run in towards us from the Bennett end. Wood bowls, and Kelly does smash this to the pitch. They're just going to get a single as cover races in to gather it between their legs and throw it in. Wood has a big beaming smile on his face as he walks back to his mark. These key moments in the game here. Just going to have a look at how Leicestershire's last few overs have gone. 9 runs from the 15th, just 2 from the 16th, 10 from the 17th, and 5 off the 18th.
So just the one boundary in that little period, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6s are going to be massive as well. I think we've had 3 in this innings so far, if I'm correct.
As Green waits, goes for the scoop and misses it. And this isn't really working for Leicestershire at the moment. They are going for the big shots. They are not succeeding in pulling them off.
Yeah, I think that's just, again, it's the pitch that makes it challenging. Obviously, normally you'd be trying to have a bit of a cultured hack out towards the deep mid-wicket area.
They're very uncultured.
It's yeah,
the hacks.
but it's a long way out there, straight down the ground at both ends where 6s are going to come.
Green goes for this, hits that hard. There's a fielder out there who takes it. A deep backward square leg. And a wicket falls. It's the right idea from Green, but he's got to depart. And a wicket falls, and it's a dot ball for Lancashire as much as anything. It's well taken out there in the deep by Tom Hartley. He stumbled back a few steps towards the boundary rope, but was safely inside it. And a 6th wicket goes. Green for 7, Leicestershire 1-4-3 for 5, and the death bowling very effective for Lightning.
Yeah, I think it's just utilising the dimensions of the pitch. As a bowling side, Lukewood's done it brilliantly there. Pace off, into the pitch, nice and high. Only one way that can really go, and that's either wide fine leg or back deep square. And it went straight to that man at deep square. I mean, he hit it pretty well, did Ben. But if the fielder hadn't been there, it could have even just been one bounce forward just inside. That's how big these boundaries are. So your value for your shots are not always, you're not always going to get it square of the wicket here tonight at Grace Road. But it's the same for both sides.
Well, Liam Travaskis can hit a long ball. In fact, he hit a very long ball in a second 11s game this week. He got 65. Century partnership with Ben Mike. Wood to bowl to him. He's in, bowls, and immediately tries to fight, cut that out, and that's a wonderful stop.
Fantastic feeling.
By mid-off. Is that Shadab
I
Khan
believe
there?
it is, yeah.
Diving, sprawling out to his left-hand side. He was in mid-air for a second, and it's beautifully stopped. Just watch it on the replay. Well, it's like a goalie tipping it round the corner. Right on his post. Fantastic stuff, but he gathered hold of it. So Travaskis is off the mark, just a single. And in this over so far, we've just had 3 runs. This is the penultimate over of the innings. 1-4-4 for 6. Leicestershire having been put into bat by Lancashire. Beautiful weather here. Wood bowls a full toss, and it's missed. And it's a wide. We can't have fewer complaints about that one, Wood. That was a full toss wide outside off stump. Presume he's going for a slower ball, wasn't he?
Yeah,
slower Yorker outside off stump.
Yeah, it was definitely wide of that blue guide line, as they say. I say guideline, I think they use it as the gospel, the umpires, even though it's a guideline.
That's it. Wood is in, bowls, and that is in the hitting arc, and that's a wonderful shot. Fantastic arc of the blade through cover for 4. And Kelly, he's been waiting for that. You could feel it almost bubbling up inside him, sat 50 metres away from him, up in the commentary box. But he has got the boundary that Leicestershire wanted to finish the over. 1-4-9 for 6 is the score, and we've got 1 over left.
Yeah, 1 over left. Get to that 160 mark. I think it's a pretty good score. And obviously it'll all depend on how that power play goes at the start of the next innings.
Well, Johnny's got to go off. He's got to do his corporate responsibilities. But I'm sure you will join us in thanking him. He'll be back for the second innings. Johnny Tattersall, the Leicestershire batsman, absolutely brilliant. Much more insightful than us, Jack.
Absolutely.
1 over left. 1-4-9 for 6 then. And it's going to be Travaskis to face. Now the field is all out on the leg side. We've got a deep backward square leg, deep mid wicket, fine leg, and long on. And it's the left-handed Travaskis who's going to wait for Mahmood to bowl, and he drives down the ground, hitting it into the floor, and it bobbles and bounces its way to Salt, who we will see with the bat very shortly indeed. One of the best T20 batsmen in the world right now, down at Grace Road. If you're just joining us on BBC Radio Leicester or on the Leicestershire stream, Lancashire have gone fully loaded. Butler, Livingston, Salt, Mahmood, Wood, Shadab Khan, their overseas Pakistan international. But it's Saqib Mahmood, the England pace bowler, right arm over the wicket from the pavilion end, who waits for Kelly, 45 not out, who tries to hoik this over towards the leg side. They're going to go for 2 here, and they're going to get it comfortably. Travaskis and Kelly, very good runners between the wickets. They've got that. They're not the tallest blokes, but they've got that sort of low centre of gravity, speed and agility. Kelly on to 47.
You're running through that Lancashire team there. It's not a bad option when one of your overseas lads gets injured, being able to go give Shadab Khan a call and say, do you fancy it?
Yeah, Chris Green out injured. And to get a player of that quality, one of the most experienced players in the world at this level. Here is Mahmood, the scoop from Kelly, gets 4 for it. It wrong foots Joss Butler, and it's going to race towards the boundaries. It just dragged in fact. That's wonderful fielding by short fine leg. It's Wood out there who's dragged the ball in. I thought that had been caught by Butler, and forgive me, I thought that was just going to run away for 4, but a nice scoop shot by Kelly. He's got to go down on his paunches and rest for a few seconds.
I don't know if Butler was almost caught out by how it, I'm choosing my words carefully here, but how it didn't go to plan for Kelly, and therefore it sort of caught Butler out. He's obviously expecting one thing, and it completely threw him off.
3 balls left in the innings. 154 for 6. 160 is a good first target. Kelly's 52. He's 47 not out. Mahmood bowls, and that's well bowled by Mahmood. Wide outside off stump. He couldn't reach it. He moved away from his stumps, and that's a dot ball. So 2 balls left. 154 for 6. Kelly, who's got now over 200 runs. 240 runs now in the T20 Blast.
Man does maths on the radio.
I was hoping people hadn't noticed that. Adding 147 to 193. Here comes Mahmood, penultimate ball of the innings. Patel goes back. Sorry, not Patel. Kelly goes back. And they're going to go for 2 here, and they're going to get it. Kelly was incredibly downbeat when he first hit the shot because he thought he hadn't got enough on it. But Travaskis caught him through for the second. And that means it isn't quite as bad as he feared. I think he thought he'd have to give up the single. He's knackered Kelly out there. I know how you feel, Nick. It's not. Nights like this are not born for Englishmen and New Zealanders, are they? We've got similar climates.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of when we were shown on the stream because it just highlighted how hot and sweaty I am.
Oh, I'm a very shiny head, I'm sure. Mahmood. Final ball of the innings. Kelly comes down the track, misses it, and they're going to come through for buying. Travaskis is run out. So 156 for 7 is the final score then for Leicestershire. And an intriguing innings, really. Kelly didn't get to his 50, and he's disappointed by that. He's got his head down. He's sort of trudging off the field as the end of the innings comes. A mix of things, really. It was sort of a bit of a two-paced innings. They started off very quickly. Patel and Kelly batted very, very well for the second wicket, putting on a strong partnership together of 53. Then Ashton Turner and Nick Kelly batted very well together. They put on nearly 50 together. Turner getting 30 of those, but otherwise they just struggled to get going. Leicestershire on a pitch with a lot of, there's that shiny head, Jack, on the stream. There you go, shiny red head on the stream, and they just struggled to get going, I think, outside of those 2 quite aggressive innings. Kelly not getting his 50 in the end. He finished on 49 not out of 44 balls. Johnny Tattersall was saying that 160 felt like about par. They have fallen just short of that, but what is clear is that it's a slow pitch. Is it enough against a team stacked with some of the best players in the world who we are about to see bat? Who knows, but 157 the target for Lancashire.
And that is what will be interesting, I think, isn't it, Adam? Because we've discussed all of those superstars in that Lancashire team, and actually when it is a low score like that, it takes one of them really to have a special afternoon, not even necessarily a wildly special afternoon, but a very good afternoon, and suddenly that looks like a very attainable target.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've got the players to smash the ball around all over the place. If, as you say, if one of Butler, Salton, Livingston, which is their top three, has a good day today, this might be over quite quickly. But what we have seen from Lancashire is the way to bowl on this pitch, which is to take the ball off. It's clearly quite a slow pitch. The ball gets stuck in it as well. The boundaries are massive, so it's difficult to hit out and find the boundary rope. So if you can bowl to your fields, if you get your accuracy right, it is certainly possible to limit players, and we have seen it. Look, Leicestershire have gone to Headingley before and beaten teams of superstars. They've been to Old Trafford and beaten teams of superstars before, and to Edgbaston, and Nottinghamshire, where you've got teams who've got a lot more money than Leicestershire, and they play well as a team. They bowl brilliantly to very good players, and they can get them out cheaply. So it has been done. But the issue is there are players of such quality in that Lancashire team that from a Leicestershire perspective, it's you've just got to hope that none of it, it all works out for Leicestershire and none of it works out for Lancashire.
And just talk us through the bowling attack from Leicestershire, because obviously not only are we talking about a Lancashire team that are able to welcome back so many superstars and welcome in superstars, England players that basically are coming in for a bit of a warm-up before heading back off with England. But Leicestershire are missing so many players. That does put pressure on young bowlers like Alex Green and Sam Wood.
Yeah, Alex Green and Sam Wood are going to have one of the games of their lives. I think two young men who have been given an opportunity out of necessity as much as anything, but they have come through a very good academy at Leicestershire, and they're going to have to try and outwit and outfox, pun not intended, the
yes, it was intended.
It wasn't actually, but I don't know what other word there was. Some players like Josh Butler, players like Liam Travaskis are going to be absolutely huge. I think Travaskis and Turner, the two spinners, hugely experienced at this level, will be vital for them, and Rahan Ahmed. Spin is probably going to be where this game is won or lost, because that's probably where Leicestershire's best bowlers are, to be brutally honest about it, as well as Ben Green. They have experience. I've just named four good bowlers. Joey Everson's been around in the county game loads too. So there is enough experience and quality. It is just whether, and this has been the story of Leicestershire's season all year, that they can get the consistency they need, bowl for well enough, back up their good spells and back up the good overs. If they get a 4 run over, that they don't come in and bowl some filth the next time and get smashed around for 15. That has been the problem. Certainly in their first 3 games, they seem to clear that up towards the end of the last batch of matches. So we shall see if that's enough. It's going to be a huge test for a 19-year-old Alex Green and a 21-year-old Sam Wood, that's for sure.
Well, we will be back shortly with the Lancashire innings, both here on BBC Radio Leicester and on the Leicestershire YouTube stream as well. Elsewhere, though, of course, in terms of cricket, England closing the day in the Test match 223 for 2. It's been a slightly surreal Test match so far, hasn't it? New Zealand got all the way to 317 before losing a wicket. They ended up on 438, and then it looked like England's chase was going to be pretty difficult. They found themselves at 8 for 1 when Gay was gone for a duck. In the end, though, as I say, decent innings from Duckett, 113 for him. Bethel and Root ending the day at the crease, 74 for Bethel, 21 for Root. So they trail by 215 runs with 8 wickets remaining at the end of day 2 at that Test match at Trent Bridge. Elsewhere, in terms of local sport, well, not local sport, sorry, in terms of sport, at the World Cup, Scotland could be eliminated later tonight if results go against them on the penultimate day of the group stage. It's this slightly surreal circumstance, isn't it, where Scotland lost to Brazil the other night and are sort of having to wait around, hang about to see if they reach the last 32 as one of the highest ranked third place sides, but their chances seriously damaged by both South Africa winning the other night and then Ecuador's win over Germany last night, followed by draws for Paraguay and Sweden. Group I is the first to be decided tonight. France meet Norway with top spot at stake. Norway, though, have made a lot of changes to their team. France have gone pretty strong in that one. Those games kick off in just a sec, as well as Senegal against Iraq in the other group's match. Both teams can still qualify. They basically need to win, and they could make it in as one of the best placed third place teams that we've been discussing. In Group H, Spain all but through. Uruguay, Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia looking to join them in the last third. with that report for BBC Radio Leicester. You are listening to BBC Radio Leicester Sport and the Leicestershire YouTube stream for live T20 blast action. It's the Foxes against Lancashire Lightning. Leicestershire 156 for 7 in their innings, so a target of 157 for Lancashire. And as we've been discussing, a whole host of incredible batting talent as their openers. Two lads called Butler and Salt make their way out. I mean, the amount of runs, Adam, that they have between them in the T20 game is frankly frightening. Salt 8,500, Butler 14,000.
Butler's figures are insane. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. 14,000 runs. He's England's first real sort of T20 superstar. And Salt's one of the next ones. It's not really talked about in the same way. I don't really know why. He is.
Well, I was telling you the stat earlier. He has the highest individual score for an England T20 international of 141 not out against South Africa last year. But as well as that, he has 3 of the top 4 scores.
And these two are just remarkable cricketers. But for some reason, he's not. If you went down the street and said who's Josh Butler, some people would know. If you said who's Phil Salt, I don't think really anybody would know.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So, anyway, we are preparing. It is Liam Travaskis who is going to bowl first. We'll hopefully welcome Johnny Tattersall back at some point after he's done his corporate duties in the half-time interval. And just a reminder, 157 the target for Lancashire in the glorious sunshine here in Leicester, although the floodlights are on despite the fact that it is still gloriously sunny. Still pretty warm as Liam Travaskis comes in to Salt, who clubs that one away, and it's misfielded straight away. There's going to be a chase on to prevent a boundary from the first ball. Both Turners out there, and that's brilliant fielding in the end. And I can't quite see who it is down there, but it took everything out of them to chase that down. And
it's Kelly.
It's Nick Kelly, and helped out by Leicestershire's other overseas partner, making up for his own misfield. 3 though taken by Lancashire from that opening ball. I don't want to tempt fate as Travaskis comes in this time to Josh Butler, who just defends that one away. But you get these guys out quickly, and then you've got Liam Livingston, who is their Lancashire's top run scorer in the blast so far this season, despite missing the first 2 games. As Travaskis comes in to Butler once again, just eases that one onto the onside, choose not to take the run.
Saying at the start of the game, Leicester's record here against Lancashire is terrible. They've won 2 games in 25 years.
Wow. Travaskis into Butler, that one into the air. It's over a couple of fielders though. It was edge behind square, and for a second you thought the experienced England man was going to be heading back to the pavilion very early. Not to be though.
That was very unlucky. They've stacked the field, but they've stacked the field behind square on the offside as well. Exactly for that shot, and it just didn't go to hand.
Travaskis in once again from the pavilion. Reverse sweep this time from Butler, and that is beautiful. 1 bounce 4 behind square. I mean, that is absolute quality, isn't it?
It's just the difference that they're onto it so quickly. They can predict, I think, what the bowlers are going to do. They latch on to the deliveries. A player of even Travaskis' standard, which is very high, is just made to look very silly from the way that Butler plays early doors. We did get that false shot out of this opening pair earlier in the over, but you're just seeing the difference in quality.
Travaskis then in for the final ball of the over. That one club square, and that is past the field, and that is going to be another boundary. It was Ben Mike diving to try and prevent it, not able to get a hand on it, and It's a decent start from Lancashire as they chase down 157. If they keep going at this rate, it will be done pretty quickly.
Yeah. Quality player, Butler made room for himself. Basically, 2 premeditated shots in that over and got 2 boundaries for them. And if these two are in for a while, it's going to be over very, very quickly. But Leicestershire will hope, they've put out deliberately a dead pitch, basically, that's slow and tepid, just to create this sort of environment. 156 is about the par score, and what they will hope is that the slow bowlers, Travaskis, Ahmed and Turner, are going to be absolutely key, as they hope. Will this man be? Alex Green is going to bowl from the Bennett end, moving in towards us. Tall man, 19 years old, broad-shouldered, fast pace, comes in, bowls to Sultan, beats him for pacer's appeal for a catch behind the stumps. Leicestershire are going crazy, but the umpire is unmoved, and Alex Green doesn't look too hard done by with that decision, and it looked like it missed the bat by some distance, that in the end. So 13 for no loss. The target 157 for Lancashire to win. Live T20 Blast action on BBC Radio Leicester and on the Leicestershire stream on YouTube. So they need 144 to win from 18.5 overs do Lancashire. Sort of reignite their campaign in the T20 Blast. Green moving in towards us now. Bowls, and that hits Salt. He's troubled a bit by Alex Green here, the England under-19 bowler.
Obviously just returning himself from a finger injury, isn't he, that he picked up in the IPL, Phil Salt. So first bit of first team cricket for a little bit.
Yeah, and these two basically in as a warm-up match for the series against India to come. Yeah, Leicester have only beaten Lancashire on this ground 2003 and 2016. Otherwise, it's been Lancashire who have dominated. They've got a good record at Old Trafford, Leicestershire, but just not here. As Green comes in, bowls. This time Salt is equal to it and finds the gap on the leg side, clipping it away off his pads. It's very sort of mobile and looks action ready, does Phil Salt when he's batting. He gets 2 for that, moves on to 5, 15 for no loss, 142 to win in pursuit of 157. Salt, 60 T20 internationals, 1,700 runs, 400, which is insane, and 850s. A conversion rate like that in T20 almost unheard of. He waits as Green is in, bowls a straight delivery, and Salt defends and plays this very properly. Jack, you're going to swap with Johnny Tattersall?
I am. I will let the man with much more insights take over.
He's done his corporate work. Leicestershire batsman Johnny Tattersall joining us for commentary, and the gloriously sunny skies. Few white, very thin, high clouds around us. The floodlights are on, bizarrely, as the shadows lengthen across Grace Road. Green, just 2 off the over so far, is in, bowls to Salt down the leg side, and that's a wonderful take by Cox diving to his left. It'll be a wide, so we'll have to bowl that again. Johnny, how was your corporate gig?
Yeah, it was short and sweet. Dropped off a shirt, shook a couple of hands, and the punters went back out onto the babies. Punters went out back onto the balcony to enjoy the cricket. So it was like, well, and that's me done, and back to the com box.
16 for no loss. The Phil Salt does not seem to like the look of Alex Green so far. Probably won't have seen much of him. In he comes now, bowls. It's a late dab down the ground to third man. He'll just get a single. So 157 the target then. Thoughts on that, Johnny?
Yeah, I think obviously be slightly disappointed, I think, obviously with the position that we're in. But again, you can never know until both sides have batted on it, especially on a used surface that's been 3 full days old coming into this game. So yeah, it's not going to get any better to bat on, but these first 6 overs is crucial. Obviously Lightning got off to a good start there in that first over. It was looking like a good first over until the last couple of balls, but some good batting from Butler by the looks of it.
Josh Butler rearranges, fiddles and twiddles with his bat as Green is into him. He bowls, hit struck on the pad appeal for leg before wicket. He's got him!
There you go.
Alex Green has got Josh Butler. It looked a very good shout, just bounced in off the seam, I think. From Green, you don't get a lot of movement in white ball cricket, but how about that for a scalp for the 19-year-old? He has got Josh Buttler, one of the best ever T20 batsmen, plumb LBW, and they've got the early breakthrough, Leicestershire, 17 for 1, Buttler gone for 10.
Yeah, terrific delivery from Alex Green. I don't know if many of you are watching the 4-day game or seen the highlight of him picking up the wicket of Bairstow. It was a very similar delivery to that. Just that hard length and not a lot of bounce. Just nipped back in off the seam. Buttler just stuck on the crease and managed to slide through that defence. And that was definitely cannoning to the stumps. I think you'd have been very disappointed if the umpire's not given that out.
Yeah, so Bairstow and Buttler in a week. That's not too shabby, is it, for a young lad finding his way in the game?
Yeah, two of the best to have played the game, especially in this country. But yeah, I was just having a chat with a few people in the corporate area. I think if we can try and get out of this power play a couple of wickets, 45 for 2, and really get the squeeze on in that middle period, anything more than that would be a good bonus. So let's see. It's a good start there from Alex Green, getting the breakthrough. One of these two as well would be very, very handy.
Sam Wood is going to bowl. Two young bowlers given a lot of put a lot of trust in them. Also Sam Wood, 21 years old. He's got bleach blonde hair. Is that a new addition, or is it? It's not always been that blonde, has it? He's running away from us now. Our time over the wicket to bowl to Salt, who is tucked up slightly for room and gets a single out into the leg side off the bat. And so 18 for 1 now is the score. 139 to win. Liam Livingstone is the new man in, who will face his first ball.
I think it's just the lighting that's the sunlight that's making his hair look that colour. It's definitely not bleached. It's a natural colour.
It looks yeah, you're right, I'm just looking at it now, but it looks like he's got highlights in from up here. It's the sun, I think. Wood bounds in, big long strides, bowls a slower delivery, which Livingstone has a poke at outside off stump. This is a good start from the Foxes. Buttler in the first over put Travaskis away for a couple of boundaries, and at that point I thought this might be all over quickly, but pace seems to be the answer, and been a nice movement and shape away there from Sam Wood. No run.
Got some really good attributes. Woodsy, really tall at the crease. When he gets that wrist behind it, he gets that bounce that you saw off that first ball to Salt, and that one just sort of slid through a little bit, beat the outside edge.
In comes Wood again, short delivery, and Livingstone almost dismissively pats this down on the pull to mid-wicket, and they scamper through for a single. 19 for 1, Livingstone off the mark, 138 to win, so the required run rate is at 7.9. They're going basically at that 7.6. There's a row of gentlemen on the far side of the ground, just stood next to the hospitality tent, all in sort of pastel coloured shirts, all lined up in a row with a beer in their hand. As Wood kicks up his heels, he's in, bowls, and that's driven. It's going to go away for 4. It's a bit of a false shot though by Livingstone. It was a drive that was supposed to go forward of square. It beats Ben Mike in the infield and races away for 4 to what would have been a square third man position. And Livingstone gets his first boundary.
I think it was Salt, was it?
Oh, was it Salt? You're right, it was. Forgive me.
It's a very distinctive shot from Phil Salt, isn't it? He just flays his hands through anything that's a little bit of width. You've seen that in international cricket, how strong he is through the offside early on against that new ball. It wasn't a terrible ball from Sam Wood there, it was just a little bit too much width, that's all.
As Wood is in, bowls, and that's the shot better timed, I suppose. He absolutely flayed his hands at that one, and you heard on our effects mic the crunch off the bat, but it's hit straight at cover. Cricket's a funny game, isn't it? You can time one perfectly, hit it straight to the fielder. You don't time one quite right, you get 4 for it.
Yeah, I think the fielding from the Foxes is going to be massively important. There was a little misfield in the first ball, I think. Was it first ball?
Yeah.
A little misfield. Make sure there's not too many of them. There's a couple of misfields from Lancashire players, but they caught pretty well.
6 off the over so far. This is the final ball. In comes Wood. Bowls a slower bouncer. It's in the air and it's lucky. It's going to go away for 4 again. Over the infield. Races away to the third man boundary. And, well, Sam Wood, I think, can be pretty happy with that over. He got a few false shots out of some very good batsmen. The problem is he conceded 10 runs off the over. So 27 for 1 is the score in pursuit of 157. So 130 to win, 17 overs in which to get it, and that required run rate now down at 7.7.
Yeah, strange game, isn't it? T20 cricket, you've gone for 10 in the over, and run rate's just 7.5, 7.8 and over, probably before that over, and then you're just sort of thinking, well, it doesn't look great on the face of it, but as you said, shot that skewed away, sliced away through backward point, and then that one was a good delivery, like banged in, off cutter, spun back in, cramped him up for room, and he just managed to somehow get enough bat on it to go over short third, and it's gone away for 4.
Alex Green, 1 for 4 off his 1 over so far. He's bowling from the Bennett end, comes in, bowls delivery on an off-stump line. Forward comes Livingston and guides it into the offside. He will get a single to point, 28 for 1. A funny season for Lancashire. I mentioned the fact that they've really struggled in the county championship. There's a bit of off-field drama there in the T20. Beat Durham in the last game. They lost 3 in a row before that to Glamorgan, Yorkshire, and then to Leicestershire at Old Trafford. So it's not been a great season for, well, one of the giants of English cricket. Salt waits and dabs this into the offside. Plays this very late from Green, who's on form tonight. Looks very good, full of confidence. Spoke to him after he got his maiden first-class wicket in the last game, and full of energy. I think he got a lot of confidence from that, didn't he, from that wicket. Yeah,
he picked up an injury just in pre-season, fetching a ball down by the side screen from the nets, and just unfortunately rolled his ankle in some soft drainage, so that just put him out for the start of the season. But he's come back and he's looked really good so far this season.
It's coming down the hill now, past the umpire, bowls a full delivery, gets a thick inside edge from Livingston, and what's that? Nick Kelly looking into the
certainly is
looking into the sun. He can barely see it.
It's a tough place to be fielding, isn't it, at this time of the evening, especially at this time of the year as well. The sun's out for a long time. I remember when I used to play at Headingley, that was used to be the first innings was always, that's while that sun was setting over the Western Terrace, used to be a bit of a nightmare out at the east stand side of the ground fielding, and it looks very similar here tonight for Nick out there.
Green thunders in, bowls a full delivery outside off stump. Very difficult to hit a shot from that, and he can only dig it out, can Salt. Was it Derby where they turned the strip? Because,
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Because you'd have to sometimes come off for the sun in the background being too strong.
Yeah, I remember watching a game on TV when I was younger, and they came off for bad light, but it wasn't bad light, the light was too good. Sun right behind the bowler's arm, you couldn't see properly.
30 for 1. So yeah, the sun is to our right hand side, Nick Kelly's to our left. He's looking directly into it, and even with sunglasses on he can't pick up the ball. Green in, bowls down the leg side. It's going to be a wide. So 31 for 1. 1-2-6 now to win. Leicestershire, we've already mentioned, lost their first 3 games. They then won 3 in a row. Got a vital county championship win against Yorkshire that's kept them alive. 8,000 day wait for a Division 1 victory. Ended on Sunday afternoon. Can they get just a 3rd win at Grace Road against Lancashire? This is going to be a tight battle. Green in to bowl to Salt, who drives straight at Mike. And you can tell that it's a difficult pitch, can't you? Because players of this quality are struggling slightly on it.
Yeah, and I think the one thing obviously that plays into the hands of the Foxes is the boundaries are out tonight, a long way. It's difficult. You want to try and time it, but it makes timing the ball very difficult, and then you start trying to overhit, but then when you start overhitting you lose your shape as a batsman, and if that ball just misbehaves a little bit, not come out the surface as much, then you can give a chance.
Bat raised above his head, Salt, as he gets a slower ball which hits him on the pads, and he punches his bat, does Salt, in frustration. Just 4 off that over as well. 1 for 8 Green's figures off his 2 overs. 31 for 1 is the score, and at the same mark Leicestershire were 33 for no loss, which tells you this is going to be a tight one.
Yeah, I think there's 2 massive overs here in the power play. I think both teams at the moment would be relatively happy with the starts that they've made. Obviously there's a star-studded batting lineup to come still for Lancashire, but yeah, we know how important those middle overs are going to be and how difficult they can come by with boundaries. So, yeah, big 2 overs here.
Really nice atmosphere in the ground tonight. We enjoyed a long, hot week. Some red faces in the crowd and in the commentary box. Travaskis comes in, driven down the ground to Turner, who will field and throw in at long off. I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about me, Johnny. I think I've been out a little bit too much in the sun. 35 for 1, 1, 2, 4. Sorry, 33. The scoreboard beat me there. 33 for 1, 1, 2, 4 to win. So Travaskis, left arm bowling round the wicket to the right-handed Livingston, who the world T20 champion. He waits. Travaskis bowls. He wants to make room for himself, but can only dab it into the offside.
Interesting field here. We've got don't often see 6-3 field on the offside, so nobody on the sweep for Livingston.
Travaskis comes in and Livingston defends. It's interesting, he's moving towards his leg side, i.e. to play it over towards the off, which is where the field is stacked. I suppose that's because there's nobody protecting him out there. But it's difficult to get it away in the infield. But he does go leg side this time, big slog sweep, and that has gone for 6. Just over the boundary rope at deep backward square leg. And that's the first 6 of the Lancashire innings. Livingston finding a bit of space there. Travaskis followed him and pointed away. 6.
Yeah, I think that's probably, I know Liam's been doing, he does a lot of research before each game on every batter and figures out what fields to have, what shots they play. I think he's probably just got a little bit too straight there for him to help it on this way. He's obviously banking on him not playing a sweep shot, not one of his strengths.
Travaskis bowls and clattered down the ground by Livingston along the floor. So 9 off the over, none for 21 so far. They've still got 1 ball left in this, the 5th over. So Leicestershire at the end of the power play 60 for 1 they were. Travaskis 80 on his back. Longish hair, diminutive figure, bowls, and forward comes Salt and defends. It's not very often he's going to be 16 off 15, Phil Salt, is he? End of the over, and 9 off it. 40 for 1 are Lancashire in pursuit of 157.
Yeah, I think this is where you hope that players of this calibre and this class and international experience, hope that they play the situation of the pitch. And Salt looks like he's doing that to start with. He knows that it's not going to be easy, but if he stays in, he knows he can be devastating when he gets a really good pace of this pitch and how it's feeling coming onto the bat. Sometimes you can see him try and play exactly the same as they would on any other pitch, but this pitch is definitely not what you'd normally find.
Green it is, running in towards us. He bowls down the leg side. That'll be a wide. It's the only thing that's let him down, Alex Green. He's bowled with pace, vigour, he's got some movement, but sometimes just straying a little bit too straight, so I'll have to bowl that one again. 41 for 1, 116 to win. Lancashire, the one-time winners, but perennial knockout stage reachers, if there's such a thing. They've done it, they've reached the knockouts every year since 2018, 4 finals days in that, as Green is in, and that's a huge hit from Livingston. He's dug that out and it's racing away. He hasn't got all of it though. Turner's chasing it and it's not going to go to the boundary rope actually. It felt and sounded like a big hit, but it was swirling and spinning in the air and lands about 6 metres in from the boundary rope, and they get 2 for that. Livingston on to 14. Strange shot that. Good York. It sort of shoveled out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was strange. Just went straight up rather than flatter trajectory. It's a really tough ask this for Green. 3 on the bounce. You don't often see that. T20 cricket, 3 overs in a row.
In this heat, 1 for 11. Green comes in, bowls a full one, and that's a big hit. High up in the air, the fielder's chasing it. Oh, he slipped, Kelly, and it's gone for 4. That's a horrible one. Can't do anything about that. In fact, it nearly hit him on the way down. But they had the chance to dismiss him. Picked him out, did Livingston, but he's got 4 for it, and Kelly sits with his knees on the floor, rocks back. That's a big chance gone, but there's nothing you can do about it, as he just slipped, setting himself. His back leg went away from him, and then he had to look that he wasn't going to get whacked in the face by the ball. Anyway, 4 runs, 43 for 1.
Yeah, that's very uncharacteristic as well for Nick Kelly. He's been an exceptional fielder since he's joined us, patrolling out on the boundaries. Yeah, unfortunately, the did say that fielding's going to be so crucial. It wasn't an easy catch. It went a long way into the air, looking into the sun as well in that direction. Yeah, slips cost him, unfortunately.
Green in bowls, and on leg stump line it's dug out by Livingston, and it will be Kelly who fields. I'm just trying to see, I think that might be the first. Those are the first boundaries off Alex Green. There won't have been many off him. If there have been, 1 for 15 of 2.2 overs. Shadow's fully lengthened across the ground now. The sun's setting across to our right-hand side. Green holds the ball in front of his chest, now moves it to his right hand as he bowls over the wicket from the Bennett end, and that is clubbed away on the leg side. Excuse me, to Kelly, who fields, and Cox gathers behind the stumps. 48 for 1, 109 to win. Leicestershire, the 3-time winners of the T20 Blast, but haven't made it to final stage since they last won it in 2011. Just 2 quarter-finals in that time. Will this be the moment where they get into the last 8? They're currently 3rd, up against the bottom side, Lancashire. Green in bowls. It's hit in the air, but Turner lets it bounce in front of him. Must have hit him on the pad there. The umpire signals for a leg bye. 49 for 1, 108 to win.
Yeah, doing a terrific job here. Alex Green really tucking him up for room, not letting them free their arms through that offside. Obviously this massive boundary out on the leg side. Got hold of that one well, did Livingston. Out there was a chance for Kelly, but it was still a good 5 or 6 yards inside the boundary rope.
Green, penultimate ball of the 6th over and of the power play, and that hits Salt, and Salt has hit it rather fine on the leg side. That's the first real shot in anger that we've seen from him. It was a very dismissive whip with a wristy flick of the wrist down the ground. Green just a little bit too straight, and he just helped it on his way down towards the boundary rope. Well, Green with 3 overs done, 21 runs so far, which, considering he's conceded how many off that, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13 off that over there, he just shows how good a job he's done. We've got a game of cricket going on somewhere between some kids. Is that down below us? It is!
Just down here on the left.
Someone just get out there. There was an appeal for a wicket from them. Bring you the other scores in just a second. We've got the power play then, 54 for 1. Leicestershire were 60 for 1. So we sort of feel like we're level pegging at the moment. And Rahan Ahmed is going to bowl from the pavilion end. His first delivery is outside off stump, left alone. Got the Cider Derby tonight. Somerset against Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire 66 for none, chasing 195. As Ahmed comes in, bowls, back of a leg, this cut and top edged and fielded. It bounced in front of the fielder there and stopped. There's not too many Northern Group games tonight actually. Ahmed is in and cut off the stumps by Livingston, and it's fielded well. Is that Patel there who's fielding at 3rd man?
Yeah. It's Yorkshire, Hampshire versus Yorkshire. It's one of those other group games, which is obviously important for us.
Yorkshire 150 all out, so Hampshire chasing 151 to win down in Southampton. Warwickshire 224 all out against Worcestershire, as Ahmed is in and pulled around the corner by Salt for a single. Glamorgan 49 for 2 in pursuit of 154 against Middlesex. Essex 66 for 4, chasing 238 against Northampton. Northampton's the team to beat, aren't they?
Flying, aren't they? They've got a good setup going there.
And Ahmed in, fuller delivery, hit down the ground, and it's gone for 4-6. Yep. Ahmed just over pitching that one, and it was lent into by Livingston. It was a very flat shot that sailed over the boundary rope, and Ahmed slapped his side after that because he just knew he didn't quite get that one right. And you can't get anything wrong with a player of Livingston's quality. Ahmed, right arm over the wicket, bowls, and that's clubbed down the ground as well. That is going to be 6 more. Again, incredibly flat. and it zooms and crashes into the cricket bags and the warm-up equipment down there, and that's the end of Ahmed's over. Back-to-back sixes to finish, and they may be incredibly crucial in the rest of the game. So the score 68 for 1, and it'd been a tight over before that. 2 off the first 4 deliveries, but in the end 14 off it. The Lancashire Lightning 68 for 1, 157 to win, and they are still flying towards that total. Our Lightning, I'm going to swap after a few words from you, Johnny, and Jack Rafferty's going to take over.
Yeah, I did say that boundaries are obviously going to be crucial in this run chase. The shortest part of the ground here is dead straight at both ends at Grace Road, and Livingston's exploited that. Talk about the step hit and trying to avoid that as a bowler. That's exactly where Ahmed got those 2 deliveries, unfortunately. Nice strong stride forward from Livingston and just swing of the bat. A player of his quality and strength and power, not going to miss out on those.
In comes Ben Green. It's hit away by Salt and just the single taken. Just to explain the conditions and how warm it continues to be, Adam's just had to wipe the sweat off the headset before handing it over to me, which he thought I'd be discreet about, but I never would be, as Ben Green comes in once again to Livingston. Just knocks that off nicely onto the onside. Another single taken. I've just been out there. It is still really warm out there, and actually we're sort of shaded in the press box here, so I'm all right without shades on. I got out there and realised I'd made a mistake not taking the shades with me. Still out there. It's still a beautiful sunny night in the centre of Leicester, despite the fact that the floodlights are on, as Ben Green prepares to bowl to Phil Salt. That one edged onto the offside, but trickling along the floor, collected by fielder, and single taken. How crucial is it that they look to break up this partnership as soon as possible, Johnny?
Yeah, I think it's just trying to stay in the game. You hope that you can try and pick up a wicket from somewhere, and then when the new man comes in, that's when you've really got to try and squeeze as much as you can and get those dots out. Green to Livingston, that one very wide, and in fact it's caught out Cox as well and gone all the way for a 4, so that'll cost them 5 runs and an extra ball. That delivery from Ben Green. What happened here, Johnny? I just think he's got a bouncer a little bit wrong. Tried to go into the pitch and it looked like it jagged back, and then maybe a little bit of wobble. I'm surprised that Ben's missed that one, to be honest. Is that the pitch that's responsible there, or? I think it's bowler error there. Green in, he comes and chipped away nice, and that is going to go for another 4, and all of a sudden that target of 157 is getting closer and closer from a Lancashire perspective. This is proving to be an expensive over from the Leicestershire captain Ben Green. I think it's just those 2 sixes, the previous over from Livingston has just really kicked the momentum in Lancashire's favour. Don't have to take too many risks at the moment now. Absolutely. Green in once again to Livingston. That one just the single fielded by Ben Mike out there. So yeah, I mean, it was 14 off that over, and 14 off the over before that as well from Alex Green. Yeah, and this one so far going for Man Does Maths on the Radio 12, as Ben Green comes in for this final ball of the over, and just a single taken. So yeah, 14. This is why we shouldn't do maths on the radio. It's
6, 11,
simple.
12, 13, 14 off. I mean, it is 1 over as well, so I just have to look at his bowling figures.
Let's pretend I haven't got the screen directly to my right.
Yeah, disappointing. A little bit disappointing there. Yeah, you wonder whether maybe hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? You look from a captain's point of view. Was it a risk giving Alex Green that 3rd over in a row? Possibly. were they looking to try and get another wicket, and I thought that was the best option possibly as well. So that's the risk reward you take.
Rahan Ahmed to Phil Salt, takes a big swing at it, misses it. Cox was pouncing, but no stumping.
That's the thing, doesn't need to take too many risks here, Phil Salt. It's a lovely delivery there from Ahmed, spin there. A wicket here. Wickets always let you back in the game in T20, and we know what it's like to start on this pitch. It's not always the easiest.
Rahan Ahmed to Phil Salt, he clubs at that one, that's straight to fielder, and it will be another dot ball to start the over for Rahan Ahmed. 14 from his first one, as he comes in once again to Salt. That one driven onto the offside. As still a bit of an atmosphere around Leicestershire, people enjoying a few drinks on a warm summer's Friday night. Perfect conditions to get out and watch some cricket as Rahan Ahmed comes into Livingston this time. Just drives that one onto the onside, fielded by a Leicestershire man.
I think they've just put themselves in a position where they don't need to take too many risks. Only when it's really in your area can you try and take it on and take it down.
Ahmed once again to Salt, looks to go big on that one again. There is a fielder out there though, so it will be collected again, just a single. Well, as you say, the run rate 9.62 at the minute. They're only required 6.45, so absolutely, as Johnny says, in a position where they don't need to take any risks. Lancashire, as Livingston drives that one nicely, it is straight to a fielder though. Joey Everton, I think it is down there. And
nice set for both teams there, really.
That was a much tighter over from Rahan Ahmed, just the 4 singles from it. And Leicestershire could do with a couple more overs like that at this stage, couldn't they? Maybe, well, hopefully including a wicket or 2.
Yeah, and this is the thing that, as a captain now, you might not want to bowl certain bowlers, or you might want to leave a couple more overs back. It looks like we're going to Travaskis, because we think like this is a good option to try and get a wicket. But again, if he comes up empty-handed here, he's only got 1 over remaining on a pitch that's obviously not getting a hell of a lot better to bat on. He's probably going to stay consistent through this. It's offering a bit of turn. Can be difficult to hit later on, but there's plenty of options for green out there.
Sorry, I'm laughing at the horde of children trying to steal t-shirts from somebody giving them out as Travaskis comes into Livingston. Some members of staff from the club out giving away t-shirts, I think the plan was to a few people in the crowd, and suddenly they were being followed by a massive group of kids all wanting a free t-shirt. I don't think they quite had that many ready to give out. No t-shirt gun available at Grace Road.
Don't know.
Travaskis in, once again it's hit straight back towards him. He misses the field and be picked up by the man at long on.
Yeah, you just think back, Livingston 41 now off 24. If that catch had been taken in the deep, it wasn't an easy one for sure, but I always say catches win matches.
Yeah, Travaskis, into Livingston. I didn't have my headphones on at the time. Were you kind to your teammate Nick Kelly as he slipped on the boundary, or did he get a bit of stick?
It's one of those things, isn't it? You're doing your best to try and get yourself in a position, you just lose your footing, like there's nothing you can do about it.
Travaskis in to Salt. And it's a real shame that it was Livingston and not Salt, because the silver lining of Salt being dropped that early is that if he then goes on to get a good score, we can make the salt in the wound gag later on, which now we can't at the minute, as Adam shakes his head behind me. Travaskis in to Livingston, and just a single taken. And
it's clever batting. When it's 6.5 and over, you're not needing too many runs, not needing too many boundaries to get up with the run rate, so you can sit and be patient. As long as that scoreboard's ticking all the time, you've got a problem as a fielding side.
Travaskis into Salt, who chooses to defend because, as Johnny's been saying, no need to take any risk, and this is the problem now. Leicestershire are getting into a scenario as we reach the midway point of the innings for Lancashire, 66 to win off just 60 balls, and Leicestershire need wickets, don't they?
Yeah, and as we saw at Old Trafford when we played there earlier this season, I think it was, Adam was saying it was 3 for 5, 3 runs for 5 wickets on pitches that are tough to get going in when you start, in a run chase as well. And yeah, it just takes 1 wicket and you just never know what can happen.
What was that like from your perspective? Obviously you were brought
playing,
on no, but you were introduced, weren't you, in place of Budinger?
Yeah.
So not involved in terms of being asked to bat, but being around the team when it looked like, I mean, I feel like we can talk about it now because it ended in the right way, but what was that moment of concern like?
I wasn't too concerned. Obviously you're never as concerned when you're not playing than when you are playing, but I wasn't too concerned, similar to this situation, because you're always thinking we're literally just 1 boundary away, we're 1 ball away.
Ahmed in, and that is slogged, that is massive, and I can't even see where that's gone. In fact,
into the meat.
Yeah, it's smashed into the meat, and that is a huge 6 from Livingston. Absolutely wellied it.
It's a man in form.
Yeah, way over the head of Liam Travaskis, who gave it the customary jump, but he was getting nowhere near it. Ahmed into Livingston again, this time clubbed onto the offside along the ground, fielded by Nick Kelly, and that single will take Liam Livingston to his 50, his 3rd consecutive half century in the T20 Blast. He's Lancashire's top run scorer in this year's competition, despite missing the first 2 games. And Ahmed into Salt this time, takes a swing at it, it's edged behind, and is that going to run for a boundary? It is going to go for a 4. Rishi Patel unable to catch up with it, and that takes Lancashire over 100. And you feel, Johnny, that when things like that are happening, it feels like the game's not going your way.
Yeah, it's unlucky that. I mean, it's a complete and utter miss-hit there from Salt.
Ahmed into Salt once again. This time it's a misfield and will allow Lancashire to get just the single. They're now under a run of ball required as well. 54 off 56 is the target for Lancashire Lightning as Rehan Ahmed comes in once again clubbed away. It's pretty square from Livingston that time. Is it going to run for the boundary? No, it's stopped by, is it Nick Kelly out there? Does well to knock it back away from the boundary, and they do get themselves 3 from it though, do Lancashire. 53 Livingston moves on to. It's been another expensive over from Rehan Ahmed.
Yes, the momentum's just obviously massively with Lancashire, and they're capitalising on that, and you start to feel that as a fielding side.
Ahmed in, and that's another swing by Salt. There's appeals, and it's given. LBW, and Salt goes for 34, and Rehan Ahmed has his first wicket of the evening. And could that be the turning point for Leicestershire? A much needed wicket, and it, the second of the evening. 106 for 2 are Lightning.
Yeah, you've got to keep believing. You've got to keep believing while you've still got runs on the board. But yeah, it's if you sort of think if Livingston was 20 runs less, if that was 71 to win, or 54, how much of a different position that looks. But I think Livingston has really taken the pressure off Salt there. I think it's shown with the shots that he was playing in that over. Both those sweeps weren't there to be swept, but he's taking it on anyway because Livingston's going so well and he's got the run chase under control. But it just opens an end up, you never know. A couple of wickets. If Livingston gives it away at some point,
Well, Ben McDermott is another experienced T20 batter, but duck last time out against Durham, 3 in the game before that as well. She'll be hoping to see the back of him quickly. Livingston is the man facing Travaskis, and he just flicks it onto the onside for the single.
Yes, well, you hope as a fielding team you can eke out 2 or 3 dots on the new man and try and starve that in batter of the strike. And you just hope that just upsets his rhythm a little bit, and you might get a false shot, might get one that's not quite timed, and you can make a breakthrough.
Travaskis from the Bennett end. It's appeals, and he's gone. Well. Maybe it is game on. Travaskis gets his first wicket of the evening, and just like he was against Durham last time out, McDermott goes for a duck.
Well, I mean, if he's not hit that, it's definitely out. But I think it was definitely, the shot was definitely on to be played, no 45. You just wonder whether that's his go-to shot. I've not seen a huge amount of Ben McDermott playing cricket. I managed to play against him in under-19s cricket, but that was a long time ago. Obviously a lovely player, but as you alluded to there, Jack has struggled a little bit of recent times for Lancashire, not probably performed how he would have wanted to.
Well, the problem with facing this particular Lancashire side that they have picked is that you keep getting wickets and somebody else who is also vastly experienced just replaces them. This time it's captain Keaton Jennings, who...
Yeah. I think if you ever wanted a man for this situation, it's probably him. Cool head, rotate strike well.
Well, he
was hoping for the commentator's curse there.
He do sometimes try and trigger it yourself. I was going to say he's got just the 1 run in 2 of his last 3 T20 innings as Keaton Jennings. He's had a swing at that one. There's appeals once again, but that is not going to convince the umpire.
It's a safe option for him there from over the wicket. That's never going to be out LBW on this pitch unless he's missing a dead straight one, which I think he'll be expecting himself not to.
Travaskis in once again. That one not quite the intended shot, I don't think, from Jennings, but it allows him to get on the board as it's fielded by the man out there at long on.
Yeah, hopefully that's just, as I said, disrupted the flow of Livingston. Can he stay in, just keep touching it around, keep getting the strike back himself?
Travaskis into Livingston, who chooses to defend that one, and that was a very good over from Liam Travaskis. Just the 2 runs from it and the wicket of Ben McDermott, and Lancashire still heavy favourites here, Johnny Tattersall, but it at least gives Leicestershire a bit of hope.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he knows it as well, but Livingston's obviously a massive wicket, key wicket. Got to keep trying to take them as we go through this middle period and get towards the end, and you just hope that the in-batters coming in just feel the pressure, don't want it to take it too deep and want to get it finished with a bit quicker. As I said, it's not easy to come in and start on this pitch. It takes you a few balls to get going. That run rate just climbs up a bit. If Livingston goes, you just never know.
It would be fascinating to see a similar situation to the one we saw at Old Trafford. Rahan Ahmed in for his final over. That one driven onto the offside nicely by Jennings. Just the single taken.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether Turner gets a bowl here, possibly at the next over. Whether they continue with spin. Travaskis has bowled out. This is Ahmed's last as well.
He's had decent figures, Ashton Turner. In comes Rahan Ahmed. That one clubbed onto the offside. Nick Kelly out there, sun in his eyes, shields it momentarily, but fields well. He's going at 7.78 and over. He's got 5 wickets from the 6 games so far, Ashton Turner, including best figures of 2 for 24 against Sussex. He had a great night that evening down in Hove as Rahan Ahmed comes in. Again, this one driven onto the offside, this time by the left-handed Keaton Jennings, who just easing himself into his innings, not making similar mistakes to McDermott, who was out for a golden duck. And again, we've already touched upon it as Ahmed comes in this time to Livingston. Again, it'll be just a single. We've touched upon it, haven't we, Johnny? The fact is that Jennings can take his time and ease himself into the innings because of how many balls they have in hand.
Yeah, that's down to the brilliance of Livingston, really, and his commitment to his innings, ruthlessness to his shot making.
Ahmed to Jennings, goes for a sweep. It's missed. A couple of half-hearted shouts towards the umpire, but no real threat in the appeals. And Ahmed has had another controlled over. He's sort of had expensive controlled. Let's hope this isn't curse of the commentator. That one reverse sweep by Jennings, and it is just the single, which means just the 5 from that over. Rahan Ahmed finishes the evening then on 1 for 38. Your thoughts on how he bowled, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, it just started in that first over, didn't he? Started off so well, those first 4 deliveries, and then he's just over-pitched. In those 2 deliveries, he's looking to the skies there. He knows that he's not quite got it how he wanted to. And those 2 sixes from Livingston really just fired Lancashire into ascendance with the momentum. But his job's not finished yet. He's got fielding to do. And who knows, he might be able to change the game in the field.
And it's almost like you know what you're talking about, Johnny Tattersall, because immediately Ashton Turner is on for his first over of the evening with the ball, and he is bowling to Keaton Jennings, who puts that onto the onside. And Lancashire, you can just tell, can't you, they are more than happy to just take the singles when they're there.
Yeah, and I think they've got to keep having that intent as well, though, when that poor ball comes, that they make sure they put it away, because sometimes you can get a little bit in a negative, just touching it around singles mindset, as much as that's what's required at the moment, making sure you're still being positive and hitting the ball to the deep fielders.
Turner then to Livingston, takes a swipe at it. Some shouts towards the umpire, but again, not given. 114 for 3 are Lancashire. Livingston at the minute looking like he's going to be the match winner, as he was so brilliantly against Durham last time out for Lightning. In comes Turner, just defended away by Livingston.
So that's the thing, you know, you find one that just, it might be Alex Green coming on next over, or somebody just slips one through and you get a wicket, and then you've just been touching it around, not making a dent in the total.
Livingston takes another swing again, appeals it, sort of flicks around his legs. It's fielded by Alex Green. And I mean, it has slowed down massively, hasn't it? Particularly, well, since those quick wickets. Just 5 runs from the last over, 2 from the one before that. It's driven, and that is some brilliant fielding by, is that Ben Green down there? Brilliant fielding, and in fact it nearly led to a wicket as well. It was a decent shot, diving to his right, and then had the whereabouts to know to chuck it in, force the man back, prevent the run. They do get a single this time, do Lightning, and that just 3 from that over from Ashton Turner. And while Johnny gives us his thoughts, I will hand you back to Adam Whitty.
Yeah, interesting to see where Ben Green's going to go here. Looks like it might be himself. I did think Ben might. And it's going to be Alex Green, as I thought it might be. Obviously looking to try and get a wicket if they can here. thought, and Ben Mike might be another player to go to as well. And if you're in need of a wicket, can go a little bit of one of two ways when you try and pick those strike bowlers. Sometimes they can come off really well for you, or sometimes they can leak a few runs. But at this point in the game, another wicket here. It just gets those nerves twitching for Lancashire. And I always used to find in these short run chases used to be a little bit more nervous because you're almost expected to win from here.
41 from 36 for Lancashire to maintain what is a brilliant record for them. Alex Green, 3 overs, 1 for 21. He bowled wonderfully. The 19-year-old is just coming, is telling mid-wicket to come in and is sending long on back. Who else have we got on the boundary? We've got a deep cover. We've got a fine leg to the left hand and a deep backward square leg, Wishy Patel with his hands in front of the sun. Alex Green to bowl from the pavilion end. 1-1-6 for 3. And there's a lovely late cut that from Jennings off the back foot. Fielded by third man. They come back for the second. It's going to be tight. No, in the end, Jennings was back comfortably. But good cricket all round there. Good fielding. Good throw in to put Jennings under a bit of pressure. But I think he was comfortably in by the end. And 1-1-8 for 3. 39 to win.
Put the afterburners on there, didn't he? Make sure he got back. Good running.
Beautiful evening. Finally, that sort of repressive heat has gone away. It's still very, very warm, though, in the air. Green, right arm, over the wicket, bowls, and it's a dot ball. Too quick, that, for Jennings. Just beat him. Outside the off stump, 39 from 35. And you just get the sense of slow over, or a over that doesn't concede many runs, and Leicestershire will feel back in this. It's still but then
that's the thing, you always feel like you've got a bit of a chance on these pitches as a bowling side. You feel like you can just crawl back into it.
Green in, down the pitch comes Jennings and misses the ball. It's given a wide. Tad harsh that, but if we watch the replay I might be proved wrong.
Might have been a little bit wide. Has it gone for it? Yeah,
it
might have been a little bit wide. It did move across, but
do you know what I thought? I thought it was wide on height. That's why I thought it was a bit harsh. But it was. I think it was a wide on width. Green. Angled run up comes into bowl, and that's flat batted down the ground by Jennings. He'll move on to 9 from 13 deliveries.
Yeah, you just always think as a bowling side, even though they're well on top, you just feel, with it being hard to start, Jennings 9 off 13, not found his timing. Again, shows the class of Livingston tonight. But if you feel like you get a wicket, you just feel in it, but then it's amazing how much it saps you as soon as that feeling of might just be crawling our way back in, and then a boundary ball comes and then it just saps that energy from you.
A 3 boundary over and you feel this game is done as Green is in, but as long as there's dot balls hit straight to cover like that one, Livingston crunching it back into the ground. Just going to have a look at how this innings has developed, because it just feels like it's slowed up in recent overs. Yeah, so 15 and the 11th, but that's so 4 off the 9th, 5 off the 10th, then 15 off the 11th, 2 off the 12th, 5 off the 13th, and 3 off the 14th. The penultimate ball of the 15th. Green in, bowls. There's the big hit, high up in the air. There's a fielder underneath it. Is it? No, it's beaten him in 6. Livingston relieves the pressure for Lancashire by getting underneath a short ball from Green. He just took that step back there, didn't he? Saw it coming, I think. Took that step back before reaching for the ball and pulled it beautifully for 6 runs. 1-2-6 for 3. Livingston on to 62. 31 off 31.
Yeah, hits that so well, doesn't he? Almost just gets slightly inside the line of it and just almost, it's almost like a scoop pull, isn't it? From low to high. Sailing that ball into the sky, and it went all the way for 6.
Here comes Green. Bowls. There's another big hit, and there's 6. That's going to go into the meat. It crashes onto the corrugated iron roof, rolls down, And those two big blows from Liam Livingston might well have won the game. Excuse me, for Lancashire. That one was right in the slot, too full from Green. He leant into it and whacked it over cow corner for 6. And Green holds his head up to the sky. Livingston on to 68, 25 off 30.
Yeah, and again, back-to-back sixes for Livingston. Boundaries are always going to be the key in this game. And I definitely think Lancashire have outscored our boundary count for the Foxes. Yeah, disappointing finish to the over there for Green.
Been such a good over before that, and he'd done so well, hadn't he? His figures will be slightly ruined by that, because he had bowled so wonderfully up to that point. Yeah, 4 overs for 37.
12 off the last 2.
Yeah, it's damaged the ball, that hit.
Yeah, I think it's might have rolled into the guttering, I think.
Is that what it is? Yeah, it will have done, won't it? Yeah. So that one might be lost forever. So we've got a new ball. And Ashton Turner is going to bowl. Well, Leicestershire probably need a miracle from here on in. It's interesting what the difference is between the two sides. You have seen the pitch and the impact that the pitch has had, haven't you? It sort of done what Leicestershire wanted it to do, but Turner comes in, bowls, and driven down the ground by Jennings. Would I be wrong?
Well, I think it's just shown how well Livingston has played, because obviously Phil Salt, we know how dangerous a player he is and how clean a ball striker he is, and it wasn't free flowing from him. I think 34 off 31, I think it was.
Turner, bowl right arm over the wicket, that's in the slot. Livingston slog swept in for 6. And now Livingston is really parting, and that has gone into the Milligan Road. That's banged into the Guinness bar on the left hand side, gone over, and that will have rolled out, I suspect, onto the Milligan Road. And is that 3 sixes in a row for Livingston now? I think it is, isn't it? And he is tearing Leicestershire apart now. And putting them to the sword. That's 18 off 28. And it's so, I mean, this was the position. We're sort of getting a little bit excited as a Leicestershire commentator, but that was the thing. It was on a knife edge, wasn't it? A few big hits, and the game was gone.
Yeah, and it gets to that point, but I still don't think the score was a mile off par.
Turner in. He tosses that wide outside off stump. That's brilliantly bowled by Turner, because it left Livingston reaching and trying to find that ball. In the end, it was outside off stump and he couldn't reach it. So 139 for 3. Turner in, takes the pace off that and beats Livingston. So good comeback from Turner in the last 2 balls. 0 for 9 off his 2 overs. And when you consider 6 of those came with 1 hit.
Yeah, it's a funny game, isn't it? Because you're looking at Livingston and how clinical he's been. But early on he gave that chance.
In comes Turner, big sweep, appeal for leg before wicket given. Livingston is out for 74 off 42. Doesn't look very happy with the decision. The umpire waited a few moments before giving it. We'll watch the replay now. But Turner has dismissed Liam Livingston for a brutal hit, and that looks out to me. Unless he's hit that looks plumb to me.
Yeah, he's down on his back leg. I don't think it hit you that high, Liam, but definitely hit you on the hip. It definitely looked like to me on the replay it hit him on the hip. So, I mean, yeah, he might feel a little bit hard done by. He might have been a bit high.
He was down on his knees trying to slog sweep it.
Look at it here. I think that's it. It's hit him on the hip. He's obviously a tall man, but like you say, he's down on his. It's definitely straight enough. I think it was definitely in line. It's just whether it was maybe going over the top of the stumps, but yeah, what a fabulous innings. And there you go. It just looks like it's hit him on the waistband of the trousers. Whether that's going over, we don't have the benefit of Hawkeye, unfortunately, so we'll never know. But the umpire said out. But yeah, I think you just go back to how good an innings that was. If you look at the other scores on the scorecard, he single-handedly put them in a position to win this game.
Turner in, slower ball, very slow in fact, and Shadab Khan, the Pakistan all-rounder, just guides this into the leg side to get off the mark, yet 74 of 43 deliveries, 2 fours, 7 sixes. 7 sixes in that. And that follows up an incredible 85 the last time that he played for Lancashire in the T20. He's come back and made the difference, has Liam Livingstone. 140 for 4 at the end of the 16th over. Lancashire needs 17 balls to win from 24 balls. 17 runs off 24 balls. And they've got 6 wickets in hand. Ben Green is going to bowl from the pavilion end.
Yeah, such an impressive knock. If you look at the rest of the scores, 34 off 31, 10 off 6, 0 off 1 and 10 off 14. Nobody else has been free-flowing. So to put in that knock, and that's the beauty of a low-scoring game. You've got to take all the chances that come your way. Unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to take that. Livingston flick shot out to the deep early on, and he's made them pay.
Green to start the new over. Shadab Khan tries to hit that into Northamptonshire, but misses it. 140 for 4. Yeah, so the last 3 innings, 240 runs have come from them. 81, 85, 74 from Liam Livingstone. It's not on England's radar. He's made a few comments of late about his treatment by England, which have raised a few eyebrows. He was highly critical of Brendan McCullum and Rob Key in the way that they go about things, but we're watching this form and wondering if he is worthy of a call-up. When was his last game? So Green is in, bowled him. Shadab Khan has been bowled. It was a slower off-cutter that from Ben Green, and he got Khan reaching and almost falling over himself as a result of that. And a 5th wicket falls for Lancashire. It's a beauty. He's played on in the end, and the score is 140 for 5. Dare I hope? Probably not, but 140 for 5, and Lancashire somewhat stumbling their way towards victory here.
Such a fine margins of a game. T20. One player's been the difference in this match. I'd have loved to have seen how it had played out if that catch was taken early on in the deep. Sorry I keep going on about it, but it'd have been fascinating to see how this game had panned out, because I did think 157 might have been slightly short, and Leicestershire probably been a little bit disappointed they didn't probably get to 170 with the position they were in. But again, you see how it's sort of fading away here, the innings, the momentum, and I think that is very much the nature of this pitch. It's just difficult to start on, difficult to get free flowing, which again, sorry to repeat myself, but just shows how impressive that innings from Livingston was.
Green in bowls, a slower full delivery, and it's defended by the new batsman Joe Moores, who got 55 from 39 in the return fixture at Old Trafford. He basically was the difference between a defendable total and not. Joe Moores has they got 145 a few weeks ago. He's got a job to do to see his team home now, as Green, right arm round the wicket to the left-handed. Moores drives at this, he'll get no run for it, and there are 3 runless balls so far. Very parsimonious stuff from Ben Green.
Just never know. You never know. It's 1 ball, the batting side, 1 boundary away.
17 to win from 20 balls. Green moves away from us, the crowd behind him. He bowls a full delivery. It's down the leg side though, and he sort of throws his fist down by his side. Green, frustration with himself. Right idea, slower ball, wasn't it? It somewhat bamboozled Moores, but he's going to have to bowl that again. 16 off 20.
Again, similar to the season of the Foxes, have played pretty well, pretty decent, been competitive, but just not clinical enough at the minute.
Green bowls, big hit down the ground from Moores. It's high up in the air, it's being chased by Tom Scriven, the substitute fielder, but he needn't have bothered because it's gone for 6 runs, and Moores with a huge hit right in the slot from Green, 2 full on the half volley, and the young wicketkeeper has launched him down the ground for 6 runs over long on.
Terrific shot that from Joe Moores. And all the way for 6. Pretty clean strike. It was very high, but it had the legs. Again, shortest part of the ground, straight down the pitch.
So Green, mulleted and mustachioed, runs away from us. Past the umpire, final ball of the over. It's a slower bouncer, which he pulls round the corner, does Moores. It bobbles and bounces on the pitches, and it's fielded by deep mid-wicket Nick Kelly. He's running out there. He's had a rough afternoon, Nick Kelly's. He's got the expression of a man who looks a bit battered and bruised, doesn't he? It was he who slipped just the ball was heading towards him from Livingston, and he throws the ball, and he's had the sun in his face all afternoon too. 149 for 5 at the end of the 17th over, and Lancashire need 8 to win and 18 balls in which to do it. I said, before the game, that of course Leicestershire could win this game against the quality of talent. It was just that sense that individuals win matches, and there were so many individuals win T20 matches, or they have the ability to, and there were so many individuals of such quality in this Lancashire team that only one of them needed to turn up, and that was Liam Livingston, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly has done tonight. I think Foxes can probably look and see the sixes that they've gone for, how many of them have been straight down the ground and how many have been to the longest side.
This will be a huge boost for Lancashire's T20 hopes as a reverse sweep is played straight to short fine leg. Someone got two, more of actually a short backward square leg, Ben Mike, where he is. They've got two men inside the ring behind square on the offside. 149 for 5, 8 off 17. Turner in quicker this time, and that's whacked over towards Cow Corner. The ball skids and rolls off the surface towards deep mid-wicket. Jennings on to 11. 150 is up for Lancashire. They need just 7 to win to chase down 157. As a pigeon flies across the field, a lone pigeon. It holds itself in the breeze, joined by a second one in front of the commentary box. Ben Mike is moved to cover. It's already a short extra cover. Turner. Where did Travaskis come from? Down the ground goes Moores and gets a single to long off. This will take Lancashire to 12 points. So level with Leicestershire and Notts. I'm not quite sure how Notts are doing actually tonight, but as there's a big slog sweep attempted by Jennings. He doesn't connect and the ball goes to mid-on. So they'll take them to 12. They'll probably leapfrog Leicestershire on net run rate. Derbyshire and Durham also on 8 points. As Turner bowls, and it's clubbed down the ground by Jennings for a single. It's all they need to do now is just take the singles. 5 off 13.
So it'll make for interesting reading the table after tonight. Hopefully Yorkshire lose would be an ideal result as well. Not sure what's quite happening in that game, but
as Turner bowls, back goes Moores and glides it away on the leg side square of the wicket. So just 4 to win with 2 overs to go. 1, 5, 3, 4, 5. So the other scores then: Hampshire 75 for 2 off 7 overs against Yorkshire, so they need 76 from 12 overs. They should do that, shouldn't they, down at
theory, yep.
Down in Southampton. The other games of interest:
not Kent Notts down the bottom there. Spitfires.
Oh yeah, so Nottinghamshire 59 for 2 chasing Kent's 184, so 126 from 12.5 overs. That's more challenging. So
a couple of defeats there. It'd make the table for interesting reading. It looked like Yorkshire were going to run away with it, and then obviously we put a stop to that 2.5 weeks ago. Just brought them back to the pack again.
Green in bowls full, and is that down the leg side? It is wide. Well, I suppose for Lancashire what it would mean is that they would close the gap on everybody else. They'd be up to speed with the rest of the division, despite feeling like they've had a very bad start to the campaign. And for Leicestershire, if those two teams do lose it, they will feel like the damage hasn't been too severe, because those teams around them have lost 2. They will still feel in touch on 12 points.
With everybody still to play in the group as well. In the running.
Green comes in, bowls and pulled around the corner from Moores, and they'll get at least 2 there. Moores is very quick, and they do get 2. So the score's level now, and there's 11 balls remaining. So this will probably be the last one. Yeah, everybody to play. It's Notts next on Saturday. 2:30 start here at Grace Road. We'll be here on the stream on BBC Radio Leicester, and then for Lancashire, Derbyshire on Wednesday. They don't have a game on Sunday, they've got a game on Wednesday. That could be a key game. They brought the field in out of Leicestershire as Moores waits, left-handed. Green running away from us at the pavilion end, bowling to the left-handed. Moores bowls and tries to dab this into the offside. He won't get the run though, and they've still got 10 balls to go, 1 run to win. You can hear that coverage on BBC Radio Lancashire, who are over to our right-hand side. They'll be celebrating a victory tonight, and we'll be here, BBC Radio Leicester, on the Leicestershire stream on Sunday on YouTube. Green moves away from us, bowls, that's driven and stopped by cover, no run. So 1 off 8.
It's not the place you want to be fielding, is that, in the wicket ends on the used pitches? Getting to that time of year,
it's going to get dusty and hard.
Yeah, and it's the knees and elbows are going to take a battering in the field.
Green, will this be the final ball? 1 to win. He comes in, Moores cuts, and that's wonderfully stopped a backward point by Ahmed, one-handed. 3 dot balls in a row. I wonder what the most ludicrous position that a team has never won from. It would never be as bad. It can't be 1 from balls. 10 or 1 from 11.
Balls, yeah. Oh, yeah, 10 balls, 1 from 10. Imagine a tie.
Maiden in the final over. I bet that has happened. Green in, bowls a slower ball. There's the big hit from Moores. There's the victory for Lancashire. He finishes with a 1 bounce 4. And Moores has played wonderfully, actually, right at the end to see the Foxes home. A very valuable 16 off 11 balls. And it is Lightning who have won the game here and have given their hopes of T20 progression a big boost. They were in trouble before this game, but that is a 5-wicket victory that will give them real hope. Liam Livingstone, the star, again, a 3rd innings of 50 in a row, his 74 from 43 with 7 sixes, the deciding factor, and they've chased down 157 with 7 balls remaining. For Leicestershire, a hard defeat. They came up against some quality players tonight and gave it their all, but they may just feel that they were a little bit short in the end with the runs tally. They will go and face Nottinghamshire on Sunday, hoping to get themselves another victory. So Derbyshire, the next place for Lancashire. You can hear all the reaction on BBC Radio Leicester and on the Leicestershire stream on YouTube, as well as the Talking Foxes podcast. But it is Lancashire who have won here at Grace Road, winning by 5 wickets in comfortable style. From me and from Johnny, thank you very much indeed if you're watching us on the stream. But Jack, on Radio Leicester, a big defeat in the end for Leicestershire.
Yeah, I definitely think there was probably some more runs to be had from the position that they found themselves in when Nick Kelly and Ashton Turner were going so strong. But I think that's, again, due to the pitch, that we probably didn't get as many runs as we maybe should have done. It's difficult to come in and start. I think when you look at the Lancashire scorecard, obviously Livingstone, massive standout, and everyone else, not to say struggled, but Salt wasn't his fluent best, and I think that showed. And it just, like I said earlier on the commentary, that I think it would have been